All right. It says I'm live. Test, test, test. It says my audio's on, so things are looking good. Hello, everyone in the chat. Oh, you know what? I should also put up the YouTube page so I can see what's going on the YouTube page. So, people, sorry about being a little late this morning. What time is it right now? It's like, all right, about 8 minutes. Yes, sorry, we had some technical things going on in the background, but you guys know how it is. Let me look at the chat and see how you chat warriors are doing. What's going on? Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Eric, I am in. But Eric is right here with me. This is my running partner, Eric Hunley.
Hey. No hiding in the back, huh?
No hiding in the back anymore. No. So happy Friday. As you guys know, we do the legal panels, which we are going to be doing. It's going to be me and Eric are going to be doing the legal panels on every Friday. But this is just something that this morning we got up and we started having one of our phone calls. I'm like, you know what? Let's just get on the live stream and talk about what we're going to talk about, because we're going to talk about, uncivil. I would have invited you. I'm sorry. Here, if you want a link, let me know. If you want a link, let me know. I'll definitely send it to you. Hold on. But me and Eric are going to be doing a show, and I think we're going to be doing more on the laid back law. So it's going to be me and him, and we're going to be talking about, and I think it's going to be good because it allow us to talk about like current events in real time instead of doing these kind of long legal breakdowns and that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're just essentially doing the news.
Oh, I can be knocking on the door 20 minutes, so link me in. I'll link you in there. Okay. That's true. He could. Uncivil, we all live in the same area, so Uncivil could knock on the door. So I got to send you.
Houston's a big place. He must really live nearby. Wow.
It's big, but it's not that big. Uncivil, send me a text so your text messages will come up to the top so I can send you the link quickly. All right, so. Excuse me, people. So obviously we have a lot to talk about. We got the ICE shooting. We got Ritchie. It's all madness. So I think, well, since Uncivil's coming, we'll start with Ritchie. So I'm gonna go to my Twitter feed, because for those of you who don't know what's going on, Ritchie, who I'll put up on the screen so you guys can see who we're talking about. Pull this up so we can see. And I got to share. I feel like I'm having a boomer moment here with the share screen, but it's easy money. So here it is. Here is our boy, Ritchie. So Ritchie, he's a TYT contributor. He's undisputable. And I've just done a video kind of breaking down his false degree. So just so everybody understands.
Part one. There's a lot.
This is it's unbelievably a lot. It's pretty unbelievably a lot. But some of the claims that he made. So everybody understands where I'm coming from. Before, maybe about a couple of years ago. So maybe I think it was the bike Karen story. You remember that story with the bike Karen?
So, in New York, the one who yeah, I vaguely remember.
Yeah. So there was a bike. So it was the bike Karen story, and the bike Karen story was the woman, the nurse. She was taking the bike. The kids took the bike from her.
Pregnant nurse. I think you're burying that deadline, right? Isn't she pregnant?
Yes, she was pregnant. She was pregnant.
Right, because obviously, a 13-year-old, it's more important than that they get a hold of a bike than a pregnant female. She wouldn't need any help at all
after doing a 12-hour shift.
Yeah,
It's like hold on. Kurt, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up?
Not much, we're doing the morning show. So we're going over hot topics in the morning. So today's hot topic is the craziness that's happening in TYT. So after the bike Karen, so for those who know the bike Karen story, is a nurse, 12-hour shift, pregnant. She goes and pays for a bike. It's a special type of bike, a newer type of bike the teams wanted. They essentially ripped the bike from her hands. Ritchie doesn't see what happened. He just sees black person, white person, and just defends the black kid, even though the black kid did all this crazy stuff, the lies and all that stuff. So anyway, it was exposed and we moved on. We did videos, great views, moved on. But people kept saying, you got to look at this guy, research this guy. There's some issues here. So I'm like, what issue are you talking about? You know, the guy, he's a doctor. He's this. They were like, Nate, the guy's got like 6 doctorates from 6 schools all around the world. I'm like, what are you talking about all around the world?
That's pretty sus.
Cambodia, we got France, we got Haiti, we got this. So we're like, what? This is crazy. Oh, somebody said, don't go live if PDPs and says, well, if they're in session, it's all right. You can watch this on the repeat.
I'm sure they'll survive without a few people here. I mean, I think they're strong enough. Their audience will be okay.
Yeah, I don't want to like put you on hold, but don't spam the chat. If you keep spamming the chat,
I already put them on hold. They can be quiet in the corner for a while.
Just once or twice would be okay, but when you spam in the chat, it starts getting annoying. All right, so anyway, so when I came back out of my issue that I recently had, I started having people, hey, you should just do this video. So I started doing like minor research on it. Like, yeah, all right, look at this degree, and I started noticing a lot of this stuff was fake. A lot of this stuff was just fake. So let me take you to my Twitter account. Twitter. You know how Twitter, it has everything. So I started doing the research, and then this guy named Cam James, he did a video, and his video was damaging. He did 2 videos. His videos were damaging, were just straight up damaging. It totally exposed Ritchie for what happened. So where's his video? I'm trying to find Cam James' video. No, I can't find it, but I'll find it later. But he did a video, and essentially, this is a breakdown of not only Cam James's video. There's another person out there who I have to definitely give credit to. His name is Johnny Walker Dread, and Johnny Walker Dread also.
I'm not familiar with that particular flavor of Johnny Walker. I know black, red, green. Don't know Dread.
Well, that's after you've had the other 2 for a while, Kurt. Okay. Well into the evening.
They make like 8 flavors, man.
Yeah, well, you have enough of it, you're going to be dreading the morning.
Yes. So right now, so this is like the threats. Like, for instance, he says he has a JD, all right, a Juris Doctor from the university from Haiti, but that school doesn't even offer JDs. Now, one thing I want to let everyone understand. I've never called a JD a Juris Doctor or Juris Doctor. I've never said that. I've always called it and most of the fans on the channel know I've always called it a Juris Doctorate. Now, it's my little thing of glorious, because when I got the degree, and Juris. So I just
figured you were mostly to injurious. Injurious doctor is what I'd like to call it.
I've always called and again, like I challenge people, go look at all my streams. I always call it Juris Doctor. I've been doing that for the past 11 years since I've been a lawyer. So, but some people have taken issue, just like for Illinois. Like, I know it's Illinois, not Illinois, but I say Illinois because what the hell with it. So I don't want to annoy anybody. I know.
He also says Salmon.
Kansas while you're at it too?
Yes, Kansas.
Arkansas.
But I know people get upset if the pronunciation isn't perfect. So I'll say, for this conversation, I'll say Juris Doctor, but I'm probably going to say Juris because that's how I always call it. I'm probably going to continue to call it that way. I hate Juris. I don't know why, but I just like the way I say it better. But anyway, speaking about that. So he says he has a neurophysics degree from Cambodia. Kurt, you think he has a neurophysics degree from Cambodia?
I'm going to press X to doubt.
He's got a master's of cognitive psychology. He's got a master's in aeronautical physics. He's got a PhD.
What is agronomical? First off, hold on. What is agronomical? I've never heard of that. I've heard of aeronomical. What the hell? He's making this up. It's like he went to a menu and said, "Oh, I'll have one of those. I'll have one of those. I'll have one of those. I'll have one of those."
Yeah, it's insane because the level of deception here is pretty runs really, really deep. Here's my. So for anybody who watched the video this morning, in the description are these sources. So you can just click on this. Anybody can click on this document and see these sources. So there are the sources that that we look towards, like the Mexican school, the Cambodian school. And it's interesting. So just so everybody understands how this thing develops. So we looked at it, we saw like all these, we see these X's, is like we had schools who didn't offer those degrees. We had some schools that didn't exist. Matter of fact, even as of recently, Ritchie said that he was there's a school that he got a degree from, but guess what? That degree, the school closed before, like, so the school closed and then he got the degree a year later. It's like, what? Like, so it's just that bad. So I did the video explaining a lot of this stuff, and essentially it just seems to be degree mill. So with that being said, Ritchie then threatened to sue all of us because he said his reputation is being harmed because we're putting these things out.
Please, there's this thing called discovery. Please do sue.
So he's he's going to sue our asses because we've bought these horrible things, which he calls lies. Now, again, that's why I put out all the sources. So, okay, if you believe I'm lying, then it is what it is. And then he starts putting out these pictures of him getting these degrees because obviously, and then he put out 2 videos. The first video he put out defending himself, it was all BS. But then he put out a second video, and that's where things started getting crazy. So this is Johnny Walker Dread. And he put out, so he was showing academic transcripts to try to show like a lot of those foreign schools he had got real degrees from. So first, in his first video, he said, hey, I got it investigated, but then they looked and found out the company that was investigating was his own company. So he was essentially investigating himself. So so I was like, yeah, I investigated myself and I found that everything is great. Whatever. So Johnny Walker, he pulled this and he said, hey, let's check this out. Another day, another fake document. So this is from the ICC Cambodia. He says he's got a neurophysics degree.
Neurophysics, there you go.
And it has
don't forget his quantum physics. He has that too. If I recall.
He's got a quantum physics degree too. Let's come on, don't take away this man's PhD from quantum physics. He's got a dissertation on that. He sourced a private investigator instead of the school. Now the transcript he provides has no physics, no neurology courses, just generic stuff. And though when you go to the school's website, it only offers business degrees. It's not science. It doesn't have a science program. So we have a lot of stuff like this. So obviously this stuff is fake. Now, I'm glad Kurt is here because this is something I wanted to ask you, but I kind of forgot. Rich, he doesn't have a JD. He's not able to practice law, just plainly. But he owns and operates a law firm.
Yeah, that's a no-go under the standard rules for in almost every state I'm aware of. And there might be an exception somewhere, but you can't be a non-lawyer and be an owner of a law firm. You have to be a lawyer.
Yes. Look at the LinkedIn network, treasure trove of people.
Doesn't he have to register that firm with somebody?
All of the,
or is there a state registration or something?
Oh, this is far-reaching. Yes. No, I hear you. Thank you for the super chat. Hold on, this is from I'm not sure where. I think it's from the state of Georgia, but this is
well, you need a business license, so you need that. If you're running a business, you need a business license. So
I would want to look up the actual firm.
You have to be registered, at least in that sense.
Does it actually exist? Is there really a firm, or is it a pop-up website? There could be something to dig there.
It did actually exist, but now it's not. It doesn't exist anymore. It was shut down. But he's the managing partner. Now, from my understanding, if you're a managing partner in a law firm, you have to at least be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way around it. So when you see this JD here, and again, I'm going to say, I'm not saying jurist, doctor. I'm saying jurist because that's why I do it. But anyway, he says he has his JD here. So, all right, let's look at his resume. So you scroll down and he has his education. So you're like, okay, let's look at his education. So he's got his JD from Renaissance University, but then now
what's the difference between Renaissance and de la Renaissance?
Well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there it is. That you've got Universidad de la Renaissance, and then you have Renaissance. So which Renaissance is this, or is he just? If it's named that, it's a Renaissance.
So this school is in Haiti. I looked it up. If you go watch the video, and you'll see exactly what that is, what the school, how the school looks. It's some of the, like, it doesn't have window. It doesn't have not windows. It doesn't have glass in the window. It's crazy. But obviously it's a third world country, so you can't expect the luxuries here in America to translate that. And it doesn't mean it's illegitimate, but it just brings you questions. Why is someone who doesn't speak French going to Haiti? Are they giving these classes in French? It's not an easy thing to take a high level college course in a foreign country, especially when not knowing the language, because they have to convert everything to you. So this is where things got interesting. He says here he has a master's in law from Renaissance University, Haiti. Now, I can absolutely tell you this is a lie. The reason why is this school is from the civil system, the civil law system from the French. They don't have masters in law. They don't have masters in law. You can go to the school's website. They don't have They don't have the LLMs. They have what they call license and droit, because in the French system, the degrees are called something different. The degrees are actually different. So Ritchie then comes on later and says he has a license and droit. He doesn't have an LLM. And that license and droit allows him to be a juris doctor in the United States.
That's definitely not how that works.
No, man, that's how it works. That's how it works. And just to make sure, he's a better lawyer than any one of us. He's also a doctor of law from Mexico, an LLD.
Yeah, but you see, I don't know that anyone calls it an LLD. That's the doctorate degree is called an SJD. So yeah, that's not what it's usually called. And I have never met anyone who has one.
Well, I'll ask you this question. We can tell if this degree is fake or not, right? And the reason why is, if Azteca University is in Mexico, does Mexico follow civil law from the French side, or does it follow common law? Because if it follows the common law, then you can possibly have an LLD. But if it follows civil law tradition, then this degree doesn't exist. So if you just look at it, let me pull up a map of civil law, common law versus civil law, and we can see if Mexico is a country that's civil law or common law. And here is the map. And
where's my civil law common law map?
Here it is. Civil law common law map is coming up. And what you see as red is
not so common. English. How ironic. It seems like common law is the least common.
Common law is the least common. But here's Mexico. And here's Haiti. Haiti's is blue too, right? They're all French. They're all in the civil law tradition. So that degree that he says he got from Mexico happens not to exist in Mexico. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense here?
You're making total sense. And what is interesting is I would love to see somebody like one of you getting with him and just even asking him if he understands what civil law is, what common law is, what all these things are, because the same way, get a couple of grad students on to ask them some quantum physics principles and get a neuroscientist on to ask them a couple of questions about that. That would be a delightful stream for me to watch.
He'll never debate us on this, because we'll
kill him. Just answer questions. Not even a debate. There's we just, can you tell us these basic principles in all these different fields? You're obviously the modern day Renaissance man. That's why he likes Renaissance universities so much, I think. So you should be able to answer it all, genius.
I mean, if all these degrees were legitimate, it would require what? 2-3 years study in all these places.
Well, the doctorates are 5 to 7 years. Doctorate alone.
Yeah, typically. So yeah. And I think there are a lot of schools that won't admit you if you already have,
because you can't do two at the same time.
At the
same time.
And so how many theses are out there? And
show us all your theses. That should be great.
I've read them, and they are horrible pieces of crap. I'm telling you. I've read this stuff, and I was like,
"You read his theses?
I've read them."
What's the plural thesis?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
There are two of them, and they are both laughably bad. And check this out.
So he has 2 thesis degrees, but how many PhDs? So the numbers even there don't match up.
Nate, I do not believe you. I think you need to share just a brief excerpt of at least one of his doctorates. I'm sure that you're underselling it, and I think the audience deserves to.
Oh, I am underselling
see.
it. Like, look at this. Look at his PhD in quantum physics, Paris Graduate School, lab supported by Clark University, current doctoral research student. Specialties include quantum physics, right? And you go to LinkedIn page, he's quantum physics. So this is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neurophysics and biological. Come on now. People spend their entire lifetime just trying to tackle one of these subjects, but he just he does them all.
Maybe his PhD in quantum physics is in a superposition of existing and not existing. Yeah.
Schrodinger's degree.
Maybe it exists, but it doesn't exist. I don't know. So Ritchie obviously is threatening to sue us. He's like, I want to sue you. I'm going to sue you because you've pointed out a lot of these inconsistencies, and it gets worse because when you go to the TYT site, right? The TYT site.
Let's go.
Don't hate me for this. It gets horrible. So TYT is where he works, right? So this is TYT. TYT is where he works, and that's where he does all his things. So now when you scroll down, you'll see he tells you his background, right? Rashard's background and interests. Let me highlight it so you guys can.
Have you been archiving this page every time?
Oh, yeah, everything's archived.
Okay, no, so you can have like a time lapse of the up and down, up and down, up and down.
I missed that second video, the video where he put up the fake stuff, which I'll show you in a second.
Oh,
but we caught screenshots of everything. So
I bet you the other guys who covered them have it.
No, I asked, and so we had it. Well, so one of the guys, there's one guy that does have it, so I think I can get it from him, and there was another guy who had an audio only. So that's those are 2 things. But here it is: Rashard's background and interest in politics, religion, blah blah blah. Right, and led him to undertake his doctoral casework at, look at that name of that school, Schofield Graduate School, right? Schofield Graduate School. So he has a degree from Schofield, focused in global effects of Western blah blah blah. Right?
Hey, Rashid, I just want to make sure that you understand what should be obvious, since you obviously have a JD, and no one would suggest otherwise. But in the unlikely event that you decide to sue anyone, the very first discovery demand will be, give me certified transcripts from every one of these schools. Produce certified transcripts validating this. You do understand that's going to be like request for production number 1, right?
Yeah, for everything, every single thing. And the more lies, right? Because the only thing you got to do is catch a couple of them. And even if let's say you got 5 that are fake and 5 that are real, you've lost your case. It's not defamation because your reputation is ruined already.
Yeah.
I think he thinks, and I think, but again, he's not a lawyer. I think he thinks, if I can catch one little lie, I got him. Or one little mistake, I got him. He doesn't understand. That's not
how that works either.
That's not the way this works.
Yeah.
So let's look at
the funny part is he already has reached out, or not reached out, but somebody responded to his, sometimes I wonder why his lie travels so far, his answer.
Yeah.
And somebody shared the videos that Cam did.
Yeah.
And he was saying that his lawyers are in touch with him. So that would be the first easy response whatsoever, because if he's going after you, Nate, have you heard from his lawyers?
No.
Has Cam heard from his lawyers?
I don't believe so. No.
Well, that would be my first question. It's like, okay, so give me, let me see if we can produce any letters from lawyers, any cease and desists out there. I would love to see that. Or is he just going to say, my lawyers reached out?
I would love to cease and desist. I would love all that. He put the law firm on the screen. He's like, these are my lawyers. They're after it. Now I can put my law. Now it's interesting because when you're a lawyer, like,
then you need to contact him, Nate. You need to write him a letter saying, I'm waiting for my cease and desist and a notification from you regarding Rashard Ritchie. When can I expect that?
It's funny because so many other people have already contacted his lawyers. They were like, yeah, please. We said all these things.
I'm pressing X to doubt, as the kids would say.
Let me play this so you guys can hear about Schofield, because I don't want to drop the Schofield. Here we go. already. This school is BS. Get ready to be shocked.
I searched, and this is the closest I could get. It says here, Schofield Graduate School and Theological Seminary.
Now, I'm going to ask people in the chat. Give me a 1 if you think this school is totally legit and he's a doctor.
Schofield, like the
Or
revolver?
2, yes. Mm-hmm. Or 2, if you think it's absolutely fake, and we're about to see how it's absolutely fake. Obviously, I'm kind of burying the lead here, and everybody's going to put 2 in the chat. But let's watch it. Now you got your answer. This is for people who may be watching later and want to have a little fun. Here it is.
California, and Trinity Graduate School, India. Okay. Now, I looked through this. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on here. So I figured, okay, one way to find out what a school really is about is to go to the actual address. Where are they? Sense. I scroll down here. Contact us.
Okay, good.
And here is the actual address. 1483 Mabel Avenue in Modesto. That's interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what 1483 Mabel Avenue, Modesto looks like.
It's an office.
And there it is.
No.
There is your PhD granting institution.
Kurt, that just shocked you. That just shocked you. It could be across the street, though. To be
I was expecting it to be a office in some office complex.
I thought it was going to be a UPS mailbox.
The mail goes through, well, okay, that too. Yeah, this was not what I was expecting. No.
This is not. But there's more. There's more. Check it out.
Where Rashad Ritchie claims that he got his doctorate. Now you may think, well, wait a minute, maybe it's across the street. No, if you kind of scroll through and look around, this is the neighborhood where this esteemed university is located. And yeah, that's it.
I have a question about this, though. Okay. Obviously, this is a church. Now, I am not the most religious. I'm not the most religious person on the planet, but I have a question. Do they give both doctorates and the 10 Commandments? And how do they reconcile the 10 Commandments? I think there's a thou shalt not lie in the 10 Commandments. But they give these degrees. How does this work?
Well, I will say this. Now, Ritchie plays this game, and it's for people who don't understand the difference between accreditation and operation. So, for instance, anyone can operate a school. I can operate a school up here. What's it called? What was the one in Minnesota? The Leering Center. Here's the Leering Center.
No, the Leering Centers are best.
Put the cheers here, and just sign up with the state. Hey, I'm going to have students, and have to be up to code. And I can start
Uncivil Law would like to start issuing PhDs now.
Yes, right.
Anyone in chat want a PhD from Uncivil Law?
Now you can issue PhD. You can issue whatever you want, but the difference is accreditation. Accreditation shows that you're part of the standard. So and if you're recognized, so what he says is that, hey, if you're recognized by the state, then your degree is good. But that's not true, because let's say, for instance, you have a lot of schools that are not accredited but are recognized by the state, right? So so he tries to play that game. Hey, this school is recognized by Haiti, so that means the accreditation is good. No, that doesn't mean. Accreditation is the quality of the material being taught, not the fact that you can operate.
Well, also, if it's recognized by something, that doesn't mean his degree is recognized by them.
Correct.
Because he's getting degrees that the schools don't even offer. So how does that work?
Yeah, what do you mean recognized by anyway? Do you mean that you have an LLC that's been registered and you're paying taxes? Is that what you mean by recognized?
Recognized is you have a license to operate. If you're operating a bit, just like whatever, LLC, like you're saying.
Uncivil Law is recognized in that sense, so whatever.
But then you're not. But then I think you would have to, like this got to be code thing. How many people you're going to have, that type of thing. Because you can start your own school. There are a lot of people who just start their own schools out of their homes or whatever. And
well, PragerU would be an example of that.
Yes, PragerU,
which is fine. But they don't claim to say that they're giving you, people, or Hillsdale College. I don't think they have anything more than like a Hillsdale certification. Like you've read their stuff or whatever. So there are plenty of examples. Where it gets squirrely, I think, is when you're talking about something like chiropractors, because chiropractors do go through a certain degree of education, et cetera, and they call themselves doctors, but that's disputed whether they are doctors or not, or what the accreditation is. And somebody can help me in the chat on that, but that's just an example. Or Eastern medicine is another one I've seen doctors, but I don't know how that necessarily
works. It's interesting because there's the medical profession of doctors, and there's the kind of the academic, which is the PhDs, and then you do have some doctors like PhD, MD. So it's a lot going on.
Well, like psychiatrists, a lot of psychiatrists are PhD psychologists and psychiatrists, or because they hold the medical in addition to the psychology.
Yeah. One thing. So now this is, and before we move on from Ritchie, there's a lot more stuff that I'm going to be sharing with everybody. But because I think this is crazy. So a lot of people are saying, hey, Nate, Ritchie's good for the Black community. He's telling us what we have, he's saying things that we need to hear, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but that doesn't mean he's just allowed to lie about his credentials and nobody say anything about it just because, it almost offended me that they said just because he's Black, I'm supposed to give him a pass. Like, really? Is that the standard now? He's Black. Don't say anything. I'm like, that's
if that's true, then they can't say anything about you because I'm pretty sure you're Black.
But I bet you they will, right?
But they're not allowed to because they just, by their own logic, they're not allowed to criticize your criticism.
No, because
letter of admission.
I'm Black. I always found it to be ridiculous.
Nate, you don't understand. I'm sorry, Kurt, you don't understand. There are some people who are no longer Black, like Clarence Thomas is no longer Black. You can't tell him that, but according to many people on the left, if you will, he's no longer Black. You can call him any racist name you want to. It's a free-for-all.
Now,
so are they saying in order to be Black, you have to think a particular way, and if you don't think that way, that
think, act, move, and if you disagree,
let me make sure I understand this correctly.
Go ahead.
In order to be Black, you must fit a stereotype.
Correct.
And if you're outside that stereotype, you're no longer Black.
Correct.
So not only would it be correct to stereotype Black people, it would be actually required by their logic.
Correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure I got that straight.
All right, sure we're all good. We're making sure
all right, great. All right, fantastic.
We'll call it the intellectual plantation, if you will.
Yes. We all got to think the same, act the same, and fall into those stereotypes. Exactly what Kurt said. If you don't, then you're not Black. So check this out now. So now we're back now. He's defending himself. Now, for those of you who watch the video, I know he's defending himself, and he puts up this letter to defend himself, which is, whatever. So I'm like, okay. And this letter is saying, hey, I got this degree from this university overseas, a third world country, and this is proof that they're lying. So people started noticing that this document is obviously fake. It's not even like lightly fake. It's obviously fake. So I put it in Grok and I said, Grok, is this legit? And here's Grok. No, this admission letter is not legitimate. And then it tells you the reasons. Calls it a degree mill and gives you the reasons. Literally gives you the reasons. No evidence, master's program in neuroscience. The university doesn't have it. The institution letter doesn't match. Low credibility entity. And on top of that, when you look at the document, the seal of the document.
That's my favorite part.
It's from a different school.
Oh, is it really? That's nice. That's a nice.
Yeah. So here is it's from the university. Let me pull up the bigger picture.
Universidad del Pacifico.
Yes, but then when you look down here at the seal, it's from. Hold on, I have it in a.
Well, I think that Grok answers that the seal's different too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Oh,
so you can read it right off. It'll tell you the difference on that.
Where's that? Fake signature. President, master's degree started. Where's that? Institutional credibility, no connections. Does it say about the seal? I don't think Grok says the seal.
I could have sworn it said that the school is different than the other.
Typical.
Oh, here it is. So, the logo acronym. No. Maybe it was one of your other AIs. I know you ran it through multiple.
Yeah, I ran it through like 5 AIs. Then I went and looked myself. But I have it right here. I'll show you the seal because you can. It's clear, and as soon as everybody saw the seal was different, it like exploded. I was like, oh my god, this is like how stupid can you be? So let me pull up. Here
pretty stupid apparently.
Pretty
stupid.
Yeah. How stupid can you be? So here is sharing this one instead. So here is the letter, and here's the top of the letter. And when you go to the seal, as now I've blown it up, here it is. And the seal is from San Jose University, Santa Ana, Costa Rica.
It's not even the same country, is it?
That does seem to be different. That seems to be different.
Are we dummies? Does he really think we're this dumb? Like we're like he's like they're just so dumb. I'm just going to give them anything. So he took that video down because he thought we were so dumb that nobody would even look. He took the video down because 2 of those documents in that video.
I'm seeing reasons to question your credibility, sir. I don't think your defamation claim is going to go very well, sir.
So
I mean, I actually am a lawyer and really do have a JD, and my law degree of 20 years. I don't think it's going to go great. What do you think with your law degree? You think this is a defamation claim is going to go super duper well?
Hey, listen, I think he'd have to be worried about paying whoever he sues.
Yeah. There's
you're
definitely
getting in that territory right now.
Yeah,
never mind slap. We'll call it bitch slap.
Because his lawsuit, when it goes in, they may say, "Well, listen, this is just so obviously
egregious.
Look up Rule 11 and try and consider again."
Yeah, and I'm assuming his lawyers are telling them, "Hey, listen, there's a real chance here we'll be effed." Right, we'll be effed. So you got to be very.
What do you mean,
very
his
careful.
lawyers? He's credentialed to ask himself. Of course.
Well, here's a sign for you. If everybody covering his material saying, "Please sue me so I can have material for the next year. Please, please, please sue," that's not a good sign. It really is.
But we have to be. I got to be fair though.
Oh.
After the whole shebang, right? When you look at everything, I'm going to add this to stage. Bottom line, he claims about 18 credentials. 3 are verifiable. He has 1 from Clark.
Nothing postdoc.
Which so he is a doctor based on that. Even
Wait, no. I don't think he has one. Does he have?
He's a ED. He's a doctor of education.
Okay, from a divinity school or something.
It's from Clark University in Atlanta. I'm not sure what type of school it is, but it's accredited and everything. So I'm.
Wait a second. Do you know that he actually has one of those, or you've just verified the?
I would look it up.
He put up his actual transcripts, and his actual transcripts that he put up. I looked at them. And so they are legit. They are legit. So he legit has the. Okay. Even though I understand why you questioned it, it's legit.
All right, then I have a follow-up question. Assuming that he
graduating with it, and he
fair enough. Okay, let's assume that he really does have an earned doctorate from an accredited university. Why would he feel the need to fake degrees from other universities? What is he even trying to accomplish at that point? Like, why even bother?
Well, at the end, he's got 5 doctorates, 5 to 6 masters. So it would take him about 30 years to get this type of level education, and he says he got it in 10.
Well, assuming he has no life other than going to school. I mean, when you say that number, that would mean his job is literally going to school continuously for that 30 years, Nate. Because when we have time to do a day job,
he has a lot of time. TYT, and I'll ask you guys about this. A lot of people are now asking, how the hell did TYT vet this guy? Like, what is their vetting process?
I'm sure they didn't. They're entertainment. Does the guy have a draw? Does he go present well on camera? And boom, they put him up. It's like, okay, if he fits the boxes.
But then you add those lies to his bio, because that hurts the network, right? Like, look, this guy's out. Does that Schofield degree that they said he has, is that legitimate on their bio? Like, I don't know.
Have they commented?
No. They've hush is the word.
Yeah, I would think so. How about other people who've had him on, like Piers Morgan? He should be screaming to defend.
Nah, he's not going to do that. Every day there are indictments from the East Coast to the West Coast of some type of official officer court, and nobody's going to jail. Yet, what's really going on, Nate? I don't know.
Yeah, we need more information than that, I think.
But that's true though. If there's one thing wrong, then you've never been right.
Your credibility. His credibility is just garbage.
It's done.
You have to check everything he says about anything in the world.
You know what? Let me make this bigger.
This one I love.
All right, here we go. Now I can make it bigger so I can see it. All right, when looking up Schofield Seminary School, I also found that Marble Avenue Senior Living Center, Mabel Avenue Senior Living Center LLC is registered at that address since 2022.
It's a very diverse. Avenue. It's a very diverse thing. It's a seminary school and old folks home. Wow.
And on one of his videos, he has investigation service verified that I'm good, but that investigation service, they found that it's actually out of one of his offices, so it's even that bad.
Hold on a second, we may be crossing some headlines together. You have another entity at the same address. Does this sound like Minnesota? Maybe he's doing a little bit of or he's tied with some people do the Somali track here. Multiple dresses, same location. Hey, why not have degrees? What was it? There was 24 medical facilities in one building, multiple daycares in another. No kids.
Nate, there's only one thing for it. Road trip.
What is it?
Road trip.
Road trip. No, you know what?
You and I are going on a road trip. We're going to visit the fine institution.
Modesto, California.
Right, so let me read this. King Buck. King Buck, thank you, long-time viewer. This guy is printing out degrees faster than Amazon delivers packages. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see if we can buy some of these degrees. These are degree mills. You should be able to buy these degrees.
Hey, I have no degrees, guys. Can you fill me up? I have no degrees.
I will happily sell you a degree for $1,000.
You're gonna be a doctor. We're gonna make Eric a doctor from one of these schools. That's the plan. The plan is to make Eric a doctor. All right, that's the plan.
I'll give you a degree from University de Pacifico. It'll be as legitimate as anything else.
So, end of the day, what do you think? Do you think?
I think you might have told a fib or two. That's what I think.
I wouldn't trust Dr. Ritchie if he told me the sky was blue. I'd be like, you kind of have to check that out, guy.
Hey, at least he's not claiming to be a medical doctor, because I'd hate to be a patient.
Yo, you got to look at the comments on the video, though. Let me pull that up. They are brutal.
I still want to review one of his doctorates, because I really feel like the audience. I need it in my life, and I feel like
I'll send them to you. I have them all. I'll send them to you, so you'll have no
stream. I'll just read a paragraph or something.
I would contact Clark University. I would contact the university itself and ask.
So here are sort of the comments. Here are the top comments. Now this is his video. So this is the Ritchie's university degrees are accredited, which are false. A lot of them aren't. Validated and confirmed. So this is his defense video, right? So the comments. Let's look at top comments. Let's do top comments, right? Top comments. Easy to fool people to convincing them. As someone with several advanced degrees, including a PhD, there is no way that you did all those degrees in those disparate disciplines. And you even have people. And most of these comments are, you're a scam. When your lawyer makes a video about your scam,
they watch your video.
They watch my video, yeah. You own so this is the NPII, is the investigatory service firm. I found that after 2 seconds of Google search, you can't investigate yourself. So the jig is up. Everybody knows this guy is just faking it till he makes it. It's clear. It's clear. But I don't know why he decided that this was the time to do it. This was, it's just crazy. So that's Dr. Richard Ritchie. So what do you
always use scare quotes? Always use scare quotes, doctor.
So doctor. Is he? Well, I want to give him that at least, but you can't get the.
Okay. By the way, everybody, there's a little history to this, because Nate called me and talked to me about this before he. Before he did it, and he was like, I kind of feel bad for the guy. I don't know if I want to do it. And my answer to Nate, and I hope this is what really sitting down the line, is that Dr. Ritchie has made a career of judging other people and criticizing and trashing other people while living in his own glass house. I think it's time somebody throws a brick.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the reason why I did my last video. Because at a point, like I told Eric, I wasn't even going to do it. I was like, let him live in the lies and, whatever. But then when I saw the second video of him threatening Cam and Johnny Walker Dredd about suing them for doing this. I was like, that's fucking great. You're giving me my end, because I just hate when someone, I was like, all right, you want to threaten them because obviously he doesn't think they have the funds. Obviously he doesn't think they have the thing. I got the resources. I got the funds. Let's play. Let's play. All right, I'll do the research, and now you could come for me. Come, bring it. I'm ready. I'm ready because I know it. I know this. I'm like, all right, bring it to me. I'm here. So soon as, because it pissed me off. You got over 1 million subscribers. They got you. You could just say, okay, I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Do your little apology video and move on. And nobody would have thought about it. But by going and threatening them and having to try to scare these people up, no. I'm here. I'm not running. I have an attorney. Matter of fact, I can have my attorney call your attorneys and give them the shit. So
how am I not representing you on this, Nate? How am I not your attorney?
How many attorneys can I get to represent this easy defense?
How many would fight? How many would fight each other for it?
Yeah, this is simple stuff. But Cam may not have those resources. Neither will Johnny Walker.
Cam does now.
But so yeah, he definitely does now. If he has any issues, just give me a call. We got it. We're in it, brother. So that was the reason. But now let's move on to the next controversy that's going on and get away from Ritchie, because I know he's like, please just stop talking about me, please. But it's not over. We still got more stuff to do. And I know you're going to come out with a video. Nate said this before. Nate's a coon. Nate says this. He doesn't even know this. But I understand. That's part of the game. But the thing is, brother, as long as I got the facts on my side, maybe whenever you go to law school for real, as long as you got the facts on your side, it's hard to beat the facts, brother.
And maybe Boozy's hiring.
Maybe Boozy's hiring. That's true. But we got the facts. The facts are just cold. They're cold here. It's not even. This is not even something I would even anybody has to worry about. So Minnesota shooting. Kurt, you did a great video yesterday.
Thank you.
Now I know, Eric, you have not seen all the stuff. Have you? What? Because I know you saying you hadn't seen all the stuff with the Minnesota shooting.
No, I haven't followed it very heavily and seen the videos. Honestly, I figured it was a typical response where one thing happens and we get immediate blame the cop, blah, blah, blah. Same pattern as BLM and whatever else. Turns out that she's tied with an organization that is funded by all the same folks. I think it's a Soros-funded organization, all of that. So I kind of just assumed, it's more of the same, and hadn't dug into it. It's going to look into it more today because we're going to cover it tonight, I'm sure. But I just figured it was probably what it was. Now, from what I've heard tangentially, and it's probably true, I think both sides, if you want to say the right and the left or whatever, are probably exaggerating. I'm sure she's not technically a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It sounds like she was causing problems, impeding cops, and things got out of hand. But again, if she didn't push it, then she'd probably still be alive. But I don't know. Kurt, you can.
No, I
my interpretation. Straight.
No, I think the best conclusion probably is that she acted impulsively. She probably didn't act with any conscious, conscious thought. But the problem is it doesn't really matter, because self-defense and the right of self-defense is from the perspective of the person who is being attacked or threatened. Because
correct.
From the perspective of the person being attacked or threatened, you don't really care, and you shouldn't really care if the person in front of you is trying to hurt you or not, right? The only thing that matters to you is that that you are about to be hurt, right? There is a threat to you that actually materially exists. Their intent inside their own head is not what's important, because obviously you have no way of knowing that. All you can base it off is what you can observe. And so, she probably acted out of fear and scared and didn't really think what she was doing. But there was an officer who was in the way, and actually an officer who got injured. And, a vehicle is a deadly weapon, and you have the right to respond to deadly force with deadly force. And so that's pretty much the end of the game, as far as I think.
The way I want to present this is that you have the two narratives are on the right side, on the left side, for instance. I'll start there. they're only showing one angle of the video.
Yep.
And that angle of the video doesn't really show what happened. What it shows, it seems, it makes it a little bit more ambiguous. But they also had the second angle, which gives you a little bit more clarity. And they're specifically not showing that video. So, for instance, here's breaking points from
Say it isn't so, Nate.
So this is breaking points. Now I like breaking points. I watch breaking points, and I think they do a good job. But here, they kind of let the mask up and show their dishonesty, because both at this point in time you have two videos out, one from two perspectives. One shows something different than the other one. But first, let's let Crystal break down the video.
They land on the ground, then of course they're being met with protest, and they ended up one of these agents shooting and killing a woman who was driving a car. I'm going to go ahead and put this video up on the screen. We've got it from different angles again.
Second.
This is disturbing, so just be aware.
Pause. Yep.
Pause.
Okay, first let's start off with the framing. And
Yes.
I can't stand disingenuous bullshit. And that she did it right from the jump. The ICE agent shot and killed a woman who was driving a car. She's like, I'm driving, looking for a parking space, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. This is the picture that she is drawing with the presentation right there. She didn't say that the person was blocking, confronting, or doing anything else. No, she's just driving a car.
Yeah,
You know, like,
and we know,
I'm driving down my driveway.
And we know now this woman was actively trying to interfere with ICE committing, trying to stop them from doing whatever they do. So she was interfering in a law enforcement action, but obviously that doesn't matter. It's again, this is, they're trying to make another George Floyd because that's a moneymaker for them. So
I'm going to look this way so I can see the bigger TV screen. But in any case, you can see this maroon colored vehicle. This is the vehicle being driven by the.
Now, mind you, that vehicle is like that because it's trying to block the ICE agents. And then after whatever happens, she starts waving some of the cars around. But why is she so she's blocking traffic? She's not a cop. She's got no authority. She's just blocking traffic for everybody.
The woman who is ultimately shot and killed. So she backs up there. And then as she moves forward, that is when this agent shoots her.
Now you see this is the front angle. Watch how this car goes.
And then as she moves forward, that is when this agent shoots her 3 times. From this angle, that angle is significant because it's from the front.
And it shows.
It looked like she was hitting him directly.
It shows that angle. Hitting. So let's see how she deals with that, right? Now let's see what she says.
And you can see that initially the officer is bumped a little bit by the vehicle as well.
Bumped a little bit.
She hit the accelerator and rammed into the officer. What are you talking about? The craziness here is, think about it, people. And I do want people, because I know people are going to be upset. Oh my gosh, she was killed. Nature wrong. No, listen. You're at a traffic. You're in traffic. A whole bunch of shit ton of cops get out. Stop, get out. One cop goes and is pulling on your door, right? Another cop stands in front of your car. Is your first option hit the accelerator? Is that what you guys would do? I'm asking. Is that what, if the cops surround your vehicle and say, we want you to get out, you got police in front of you, everything, is your first instinct to put the car and drive and run through?
Obviously not. It wouldn't even been in gear. I mean, if it was parked and there was cops, I'd be going like this. I mean, what are you talking about? Hands on the steering wheel, stop. I mean, it wouldn't even be driving. It's so ludicrous at any point. She's completely at fault here. Now there's, matter of degree, I don't think she's domestic terrorist, but
no,
she's at fault here. She's trying to impede. She's inserting herself into a situation. I don't know.
And Crystal is trying to downplay the reality of it. So because she has to be dishonest. She has to force the narrative. She can't just say she tried to run down the officer and he shot her. She can't say that. Right?
It was a light bump.
Yeah. It's a
bump.
Yeah, so somebody accelerating a car to you. Now, and you can see the acceleration because don't forget, the car was in reverse. You can see the reverse lights on. She puts the car in drive and
Yep.
hits the gas.
Yep.
So let's see how she handles that. Put this back on the screen. Sorry. There we go.
It looks like in this angle. Now here you can see it slowed down. You have
two officers, right?
this one
car's
person on the
backing up.
side.
Now I want to hold on. Let me go back because you can see it with the lights. The car is backing up. Oops. Let's see if I can go back. So the car is backing up. Now
You have this one person on the side, agent on the side,
car's moving forward, just so everybody knows,
who has his hand on the vehicle. And then it's the guy in the front who shoots one time and then 2, 3 times. It appears the second 2 shots go in through the driver's side window. The vehicle then, the driver, we don't know if she was instantly deceased or not, but incapacitated. The vehicle then crashes.
So now that's the left's spin on it, right? It was just the officer was lightly tapped. So let's contrast that with Megyn Kelly. Let's see what Megyn Kelly says about it.
You have said
Definitely, yeah.
but you can see that there is bad ice. If anything, this woman had a reason to lie to make the woman driving the car, Renee Good, sound better.
Sorry.
In this video we're showing, but we are short than 100 yards. And
just so everybody understands too, the officer was actually dragged previously. So I think I'll just start from the beginning.
Right, I heard about that the officer was dragged previously, so he was primed to do this.
By an ICE agent in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we're getting a much more clear picture of what happened. The media all over X, the mainstream, have lost their effing minds. They've lost their minds about this. The local authorities in Minnesota and Minneapolis are gone. They're too far gone to be reasoned with. They're going to get an ICE agent killed. That's what's going to, you're not going to be happy until an ICE agent is dead. I realize a woman died yesterday. I'm sorry, but that was her own doing. Who among us would not understand that if we did not respond to law enforcement surrounding our car, telling us to get out, we were endangering ourselves? Who among us would expect to live if we pressed the accelerator with a cop in front of our SUV? That's what she did. Everyone would know you are putting your own life in danger. There's so much to get to. There is a stunning development that just happened in this story that we, I believe exclusively, just confirmed. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem mentioned in media interviews yesterday that the ICE agent who shot the driver in Minneapolis was involved. He was involved in a prior incident last June that was very similar to what happened yesterday. Well, we now have the video of that incident, and we've confirmed with the government that this is the relevant video that Kristi Noem was referencing. This is video of the incident she was referencing involving this same officer. He was dragged.
Now I want to stop this because I know Kurt and Eric will know this. The reason why this is important is it goes to the officer's state of mind. Sure. And in terms of, if you've been in this situation before, you've been in front of a car and something like this has happened to you and you've been injured seriously, we had to go to the hospital, then somebody on the jury would say, well, you know what? Based on that officer's training, experience, everything, this is something, now, even though it's objective standard, you would have I think a reasonable juror would take that into account that, hey, this is what happens if you don't do something versus this is what happens if you do something.
The problem is it could be used as a, he had an incident before, so he was over amped up and ready to react. I don't know the right term, but spoiling for a fight or what have you, because the incident happened in the past, which is not fair either. That's why, prior bad acts or whatever are not considered in court, correct?
Yeah, but this wouldn't be a prior bad act. You're saying, because you're trying to say that, and again, I'm
saying that somebody would try to frame it that way, that he'd been hit before, and look, he's not going to let it happen again. So he was like, I'm going to blow this person away. Blah, blah, blah. I could totally see somebody framing it in that manner.
Yeah, you could definitely frame it in that way. But then what you would say is okay, so he's got a more sensitivity to it. But then you go back to the video and say, and as you'll see later, the shots happened when he was actually being hit by the car. So, and I have the clip with CNN because CNN synced it all up. And when he's actually being hit by the car, that's when the gun starts firing. So it's not like the car's moving and he starts shooting. He's actually being hit by the car, and shooting at the same time. So,
which is totally understandable. I
which is
just wanted to acknowledge the reverse framing I can already see happening.
Of course. And I think a good defense attorney would frame it the way you're saying it.
During an ICE arrest just this past June and got seriously injured. This same guy, this poor ICE agent. Per the Department of Justice, on June 17th, 2025, law enforcement officers attempted to arrest Roberto Carlos Munoz Guatemala, a convicted sex offender, on an immigration order. By the way, this is what ICE officers are trying to do. This is the terrible work that these lunatics are out there protesting against. They'd rather have Mr. Guatemala have access to their children, I guess, because this agent that they're now...
Now, I know Megan is going a little crazy with this, but it is what it is. She gets on her high horse. But we had to watch the other one.
She's not wrong, man. I mean, there's some people that are like, don't really think about this. It's just like the poor illegal immigrants, and they don't think about, even though we're like, yeah, this person's a convicted felon. He's just misunderstood. Yeah, the liberal compassion, and terminal empathy is frustrating.
As a murderer was the one who stopped him, along with his fellow ICE agents. The guy was uncooperative. He refused to follow instructions. After warning him several times, an agent, who is the same agent involved in yesterday's shooting, broke the back window of the suspect's car so that he could open the vehicle from the inside. The man then accelerated his car. You can see it's the same agent. The guy had a mask on yesterday, but same hair. As he sped away, the agent's arm became trapped between the seat and the car frame. You can't see the agent in this video we're showing, but we are showing the car rushing away from the scene. The agent is on the driver's side toward the back, so you cannot see him being dragged, but he's being dragged, and that's undisputed, for more than 100 yards, while the maniac driving the car is weaving back and forth in an attempt to shake him from the car.
Now, if he shot that guy, I think they would still be protesting in the streets, right?
Of course he would.
He could have took his arm out and rolled away.
He was still alive. I mean, come on.
Up to and including a person pulling a weapon and starting to shoot at the ICE officer. If the ICE officer killed the person, there would be protests. That's where we're at.
Completely.
I disagree. I think they could pull a weapon too and say, well, he probably wouldn't have had good aim.
The thought of running over him or what other damage he was causing. The agent was eventually jarred free from the car, but suffered significant injuries to his arms and hand. Look at this. If you're only listening to this, you've got to go and check out our YouTube at 3 minutes after the hour. His arm looks mutilated. It's a shot of him in his hospital bed where you can't see his head, but you can see his arms and his legs. And that arm clearly shows the damage of what he had just been through. Okay, this is incredibly relevant to what this guy's perception of the danger was. Now, we'll get into the legal standard, which is more of whether it was objectively reasonable.
All right, so now we've heard the two competing things. So I want to play one last clip before we get to our discussion. This one is from Anderson Cooper. Now, Anderson Cooper does his thing, and what they've done is enhance the video from the front scene where you see the officer in front, because what a lot of people are saying is that the officer wasn't hit by the car. And then you had the video where you saw the officer hit by the car. Then they were like, the officer could have just moved to the side of the car. But obviously you can see that. But when you see this video, you'll see exactly what happens in this video.
His video forensic expert, Frank Piazza, he's previously been called upon as an expert witness in high-profile trials in the Southern District of New York, including the recent trial of Sean Combs. Also joining us, former Secret Service NYPD deputy. Your own analysis of two of the videos, starting with one that's filmed from further away, but seems to show contact between the car and the officer. According to your analysis, because there were questions last night of, were any shots fired before the officer made contact or once the officer had made contact with the vehicle? I just want to play you've enhanced a version of the video, which you slowed down, and I want to ask you about it afterwards. So let's look at this.
Yeah, he was hit.
He fired after he was hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So from your experience, what does that show? What does that slowed down version tell you?
Well, the slowed down version is showing me that when the SUV pulls forward, they make contact
yeah.
with the agent in the street, and then immediately following that contact, you hear 3 gunshots follow.
Sounds like a clean shoot to me, man. Sounds like a good shoot to me, man.
Let's look contact, and then you can see. I'm doing frame by frame on YouTube. Oops, all right, so contact. I'm trying to go back frame by frame. It's not working now.
Who's saying this isn't a good shoot again?
Have you not been seeing? Okay, so when you see the first shot here,
you can see it right there.
Gunshots follow.
So when he gets hit,
So there's
now the gunshot. Now he's literally being hit by the car. He's got the gun out, right? Now the car hits him, and he's got the gun, and now he fires. So you see that first fire. You see the glass, the smoke.
according to you, you do
shots.
not hear a shot
That's it.
before contact.
I do not. Not in this particular video. Absolutely not.
And yeah, let's just listen to this again.
Well, that's not quite accurate either.
Yeah, that shot is there's a definite delay. You can see it hit, and then you hear a pop.
Yeah.
Saying, Kurt?
I was like, it's like you can't hear it before, but there's the speed of sound is a limiting factor here.
That's
because
true.
we're dealing with such small time increments. It's like, oh, I can't hear it before he was hit. Yeah, it's like, but the speed of light is much faster than the speed of sound.
That's
that's like not quite right either. So that's off. And I was like, but I hate to like list my bona fides, but I criticize police on my channel all the time.
Of course,
I have a video recently. In fact, one of my most popular videos is criticizing a police officer because he pulled over an IA officer and the police officer is being a complete idiot. I mock him for 30 minutes. So it's like I have no problem criticizing the police, but this is a completely good shoot. And also like the idea like, oh, this shot didn't happen until after he was hit, but it doesn't matter because
split seconds.
It's like,
we're talking about split seconds.
It doesn't matter because you can use deadly force in response to an imminent threat. And actually, this is worse because as the car is being driven to you, that's an ongoing threat.
Yeah,
that threat is happening. That threat isn't about to happen. It is happening. Okay, as the car is being driven. So if he fires, but while the car is coming towards him, versus the car's already hit him and then he fires, it makes no effing difference. No one cares.
And it's funny because people are even splitting hairs to start saying things like, well, the first shot was justified, but the second 2 weren't justified. But I'm like, it's rapid succession. You're judging a 1 second thing and trying to nitpick like, hey, he can't do this. And that's
like it makes any difference if he fired 1 second earlier or 1 second later in this context. It makes a difference. Spoiler alert, it doesn't.
Right. Also, Kurt, one note: the speed of sound argument made is pretty much moot at such a close distance because speed of sound, when you're talking about 100 yards, 200 yards, 1,000 yards, that comes into play. But when you're talking about right there from feet from each other, you're not going to see a much
I don't know, man.
Difference.
I don't know because I know it makes a difference in even a track meet because that's one of the reasons they have the speakers behind every person in track because it makes enough of the speed of sound is slow enough relative to the runners that it actually makes a difference. That if you had a starting gun, it's actually not fair to the person in the furthest lane.
On the farthest lane.
So they have to actually. So I don't know, man. I'm just saying the speed sound is a factor here.
But I don't want to. I don't want to debate something that is irrelevant.
Also, it doesn't matter
to the cause, right? If let's say right now we know for a fact based on the video evidence that he had his gun pointed, car was stopped, gun pointed. She hit the accelerator, hit him. And then shots happen. Now, if the shots happen before the car made contact or while he's on top of the car made contact, I really don't think it makes any difference. But I'm looking at
and she definitively did it because she went from reverse into forward. So, I mean, it wasn't even from a stop. It was literally, like she was trying to drive herself out of a box, if you will, and it went out of hand. I think she panicked, most likely.
Yeah,
and but unfortunately, you can't panic in some places. If something bad happens and you're panicking in a bad situation, you're still responsible.
A panicking person is definitely still a threat. perhaps even more so because they're not rational, which makes them more of a threat.
So now let's look at. So now we're going to look at the legal analysis of this. We're going to look at the legal analysis.
I already did the legal analysis.
I know you did, but we're going to look at. We're
going
to look at a left-wing judge's legal analysis, and you should definitely check out Kurt's. And I want to see if we all agree with this guy's legal analysis. So they've watched the video and they're going to start analyzing what happened. Let's see if they're because it seems like I'm assuming all three of us agree. This was a good shoot. The officer was obviously in danger. It was not just any danger. This was serious physical injury. He was actually struck by the car, and he fired into the car, stopping the threat.
I want to bring this full circle. I'd like to see Rashad Ritchie's analysis of this.
Okay. Let's do it. Oh, the lawyer, Rashad Ritchie, the lawyer. I'll look at his because you know he.
Come on, the grift is on. This is like the new BLM.
But yeah, the BLM is all over this too. Even though I think they got problems with their money issues. All right, so I'm going to indisputable, and let's see because he did this. All right, here we go. Oh, he did it. Here it is.
There we go. See, I want to continuity.
I talked about, but the update is Trump and Vance got in on the action, and well, here it is.
Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Let me follow his analysis. I want to stop and go to his analysis because I don't want to watch this whole thing. Let me see.
He's got great citations.
Oh yeah, no, he's going to be a law enforcement guru now.
Oh, you got Andy from Popcorn Planet screaming he was not in danger in the chat.
He was not in danger.
Andy from Popcorn Planet can suck.
Oh, did you? No, what do you mean? Andy's my brother. That's like my soulmate right there. Andy, I love you, Andy. No, let Andy just to show you. So maybe you didn't see what we just saw. So let me do that for Andy because Andy, obviously. We disagree.
Show him the CNN guy.
Yeah, I'll show you. So here, Andy, this is just for you. Even though people in the chat, please forgive me, but I do want to show my friend why we're coming to the conclusion that we're coming to. So let me show him. So here you go, Andy. We're going to pull this back a couple of seconds. And you said the officer. Now you're.
Oh, he's saying that you were all nuts. He wants to defend himself.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying.
Let him come on.
Oh, you want to come? Yeah, I'll send you. Yeah, just send me a text and I'll send you the link. You can
come on channel. You can tell me how the guy being hit is not in danger.
But send me a quick text and I'll send you the link. And then what we can do is But right now I'm going to play the part that why we're coming to the conclusion that we're coming to because you may have not seen all the angles. So here it is. Here's CNN.
Before contact.
I do not in this particular video. Absolutely not.
And yeah, let's just listen to this again.
I don't know.
So Andy, you see the officer. That's not being in danger, Andy?
And just from how accurate can you?
I don't know, Andy. If you're telling me standing in front of the car with a gun pointed and the person essentially runs into
you. Are you trying to tell me, Andy, that if this were you, if you were this officer, you wouldn't feel like you were in danger in this situation? You wouldn't feel like a car heading towards you and had just struck you? You wouldn't feel a sense of danger? Your spidey senses wouldn't be triggering at all? No, not feeling anything, Andy?
He keeps saying, I saw it all. That agent was never a threat.
Okay, in that case.
We just have to disagree.
In that case, you're blind and, I have no patience for you.
No. I think people see, people see different scenarios with this thing, and I think a lot of times people don't realize what the law is and how it actually operates in the situation.
Andy apparently is totally okay with being hit by a car, so next time I see him, I'll just give him a little love tap with my car, and that won't be dangerous.
No, don't do that, Kurt.
He's established.
No, just a bump. Only a bump.
He's established that it is not dangerous. He has established it is not dangerous and not reckless. So if I give him a little love tap with my car, it is not reckless or dangerous in any way, and he has no reason to complain. So I look forward to seeing him next time. It'll be great.
Oh, he's coming on now. Just sent him the thing.
Okay.
So he's gonna come in, and I think it's to be honest with you, looking at this from the first angle, I can see why people are upset. But from the second angle, I think there's no question this was a good shoot based on the legal principles that we're talking about. You could say morally and all this other stuff. And
well, you're also a cop, Nate. Don't bury the lead. And a prosecutor.
That's true. Yeah.
You know.
That's no. I don't want to inflate my degrees like Ritchie. You try to get me crazy now.
I didn't say degrees. I said jobs.
He was chief of police, don't you know?
Hey, Andy, what's going on, Andy? What's up, bro?
Can I say something quick?
Go ahead. No. You got the floor because you're coming into a hot room.
I know this is unpopular, but if we don't have these discussions, what are we as a society? So let's hear the other side out. Let me hear my place, please. Respect. I know some of you won't. I'm literally all I'm called is a retard. Is usually the common response to me saying this. But I want you to play the clip.
Andy, hold on.
The clip you just played. But play the version that's synced with the one next to him.
All right, but just quickly, I just wanted to make it like I've never done that. If you disagree, I agree to disagree all the time.
I love you, Nate. I'm not. I don't care about you guys.
I don't do that. That's the reason why I invite you on. I love you in the opposite side. You know why? Because a lot of times we'll get to the group thing, right? Everybody's thinking the same way. So if you have a different opinion, we want to hear it because if you could convince,
I think it's good to hear the other side. You guys can disagree with me all you want, but I want the one because you played that clip.
So do you want the New York Times one?
I get it. This is a forced perspective.
No, I'm just saying
this angle, of course, makes it look like he got hit more. When you look at the other angle, you can see his feet. You can see his feet firmly planted on the side.
So are you talking about the time? But hold on, what I'm asking, are you talking about? There's a New York Times one where they did the side by side. Is that the one you want to pull up? Okay,
yes.
I'm just gonna look for it.
And I just want to confirm, Andy, when you say hit more, you are acknowledging he was hit, correct?
I think his arm was hit. I think his arm was hit. I think his arm was hit, and I think he put himself in the danger. And I think the DOJ laws clearly state, which I can also bring up for you guys, he should not have put himself in the danger. She was not a threat to anybody. She was an inconvenience to ICE. I think they were poorly trained. Any officer, and I've seen many federal law FBI agents. I can play another clip. Guy who's been trained for 40 years who trains people who's shooting. There was no need to shoot her. There was no need to shoot her. Let her go drive off, shoot the tires, go follow her. There's a million things you could have done. Then put yourself in front of the car. You wanted her to leave. She left. But you shot her? What? Why? Because she was running people over? Dude, play that clip again where she's blocking the road. Do you not see cars passing her? What threat was this woman? What threat was this woman? Why were they so aggressive coming in and so hot? Why? So it's suddenly, gun draw because I'm stepping in front of the car. That you're literally intimidating her. You're literally intimidating this woman who has a right to protest. Meanwhile, Ashley storms the Capitol, is warned, we're armed, don't come in, lady. She breaks the window, continues. And what's Trump say? Oh, poor lady was just protesting. How dare they shoot her? The hypocrisy here is crazy, guys. You can't just sit here and say that woman was more of a threat. She wasn't.
Well, two things. Number one, you talked about the Ashley Babbitt case.
I can in fact say that.
Well, just to respond to the Ashley Babbitt case.
But it's nice to know what I can and can't say. That's thrilling.
I personally think Ashley Babbitt's shooting was justified, and I've said that. I've taken heat for that too. Ashley Babbitt's shooting was totally justified. Breaking into the window, blah blah blah, VIPs. Myself, Andrew Branca. I think most people who just evaluate it just based on that would say this. And in that same vein, I think this is a clean shoot too, if we're talking about it, because the thing is that a serious threat doesn't have to be actualized. I don't know if you know the example of suicide by cop, where somebody comes and they put their hands in there, or the cops will be like, stop, and they put their hands in their pocket and do like something like this. They have nothing, and the cop shoots them. And then people are like, why didn't he wait? It's because you're reacting in seconds. So we're really talking about parsing seconds here.
Right.
So let me play
the proper training to know what you're supposed to do in those seconds.
Well, Andy, question for you. I let you say a piece about the
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The officer and how he should not have jumped in front of the car, should not have done this, should not have done that, right? You laid out
hindsight.
A pretty big, you laid out some claims about his training, what he should or shouldn't do. Now, how did this incident begin? Did it when you say she has a right to protest?
I'm curious. What do you think?
Well, I'm asking you because you're giving me all the details. When you say she has a right to protest? Now, a protest, we can go all the way back. What is a protest? Now, if I'm blocking the road if I'm laying out there and I say I'm protesting and I'm blocking a road and the ambulance gets by, you're saying that's cool, right? That's a viable protest. No, was she interfering with an okay? Well, I'm asking. Now, was she interfering with an operation? Yes or no? Was she trying to interject herself to block cars or do anything in the middle of a police or law enforcement operation? I'm asking you straight up, is that what was occurring?
To me, partly. At the same time, I see cars.
So civil disobedience beyond a protest, right?
I also see cars easily passing her.
Okay, but
so she's not doing a very good job at it if she was. So I don't really know her intent because she's dead.
Right.
So we can
but
assume her intent, like you're trying to seemingly put me in a box to do.
Well, no, I'm asking you how she got there because again, you're laying a lot that the cops should know better and to stand
so let's
here.
say she was. Why the aggressive? Literally, what if she's blocking the road and then she's trying to exit the road? Why the forced entry?
All right, so two things.
I'm curious. Let's okay. So she's blocking the road, even though cars are going around her. Fine. Why the aggressive forced entry into the car?
So hold on. So
in order to effectuate an arrest.
So hold on.
So that was a necessary arrest.
Well, okay. What arrest is necessary?
No, hold on. Everybody, stop.
I don't know what a necessary arrest is. What is a necessary arrest?
Everybody, just stop for a second. Let's do this because right now we're kind of like all over the place because I know it's hot. Let's do this.
I have no idea what a necessary arrest is. I know what a lawful arrest is.
Don't you have to have a reason to arrest somebody?
Hey guys.
What?
Let's do this.
You don't need to arrest somebody.
I want to give Andy.
If it's lawful, yes. That's if it's a lawful arrest.
Guys.
We're debating here.
Hold on for 1 second. 1 second.
Necessary. I don't know what a necessary arrest is. What's necessary?
Lawful. Okay, thank you for clarity. Lawful arrest.
Yes, it's a lawful arrest.
Okay, guys. Andy wanted to present a video. I found that video, and that video I think is crucial to his argument, right, Andy? So I want to put that video, and I want to let Andy narrate what he says, and then we can talk about the arrest and stuff because I think it's critical to his point. So I want to be fair. That's why I want to be fair. And I know again, it's a hot room because we all disagree with him. So
yeah, dude, we all have an opinion.
Yeah.
Right. That's the problem here, and that's why this should be up to a jury, in my opinion, because it's so clearly divided. It's so clearly divided.
This is the video from the New York Times. So I'm gonna play it, and you can narrate and just tell me whenever you want me to stop it or whatever, and then I'll stop it.
I mean, we go to the one where they do the side by side.
That at this moment, in this grainy, low resolution footage, it does look like the agent is being struck by the SUV.
Well, if you go frame by frame
when we
on
synchronize
that one, also by the way, you can see
about.
His left foot is planted the whole time.
Okay, well here we go.
You can watch that too. Like I do think he's moving out of the way because he's put himself.
Hold on, you said the foot was planted. I just saw his foot going back out at an angle.
No. I said watch the other foot. Watch the other foot. There's an obvious one that moves out of the way of the car because he's put himself in front of the car, and he's put his arm over, which the witness has also confirmed. The witness has also come and changed her. Because she came out pretty hot, like, and it was happening.
Oh,
she's also changed her story,
what a surprise.
which you can go play. But watch his other foot. It does. Both feet are not dragged.
Let's go frame by frame. So now, just to set it up, we have one officer, weapon drawn in front of the car. We have another officer trying to get into the car. Now, at that point in time, she reverses the car because you see the reverse lights come on.
Correct.
And then the car stops. Then she puts the car in drive with officers around and hits the accelerator. Now,
she's clearly freaking out because
now we're at the time where we have a person surrounded by law enforcement hitting the accelerator when there's an officer in front of the car. That's where we're at.
And now I'm going to be clear, just so I can say it, because everyone's trying. Of course, she shouldn't have done that. Of course. But we're talking about a split second where you're surrounded by ICE agents who are now drawing their weapons. There are many examples, guys, of ICE agents detaining people unlawfully. There are. We can't deny that. So there's a political heat. Look at this. I can't even come in here without people calling me retarded, all these horrible things, just to have the other side of the argument.
I'm not
doing
doing
that. Understand, she is now in a very heightened situation, which requires law enforcement who are trained to not let their emotion take over to make sure no one's loss of life happens. Because this woman was not a threat to anybody. Now, she may be a criminal. She may deserve to go to jail, but she deserves to have the gun armed at her because she's exiting a blockade. Hell no.
But Andy,
Maybe they
Andy,
should send in one of those mental health squads I hear so much about.
Andy,
They're
So let's
good.
just murder everybody we
Hold on,
disagree with.
hold on,
Who's having a
hold
blade.
on.
Like, okay, got it. You got it.
That's kind of instigating.
I want you to narrate. I'm going to do
Do
frame
you know
by
what
frame,
a straw man is?
and I want you to narrate what we see. So now after the guns are out, right? Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Guns. She is this one. Okay.
I'm also
now
it was
we're
like she
moving
placed
forward.
herself there. I don't know why she was
We're
there.
moving-
I don't know. We don't know.
Well, they now say that she was there as one of these anti-ICE whatever. But I don't want to.
That's what I've heard. I mean, is that confirmed? I mean, she's dead.
Well,
Did the partners say that?
There's a again, it's like all over. Like,
Well, does it? Hold on. Does it matter?
Right yeah,
Technically, does it matter if you try to run down a cop? Whatever reason you were there, if the threatening is there, and I think that's where it gets into the issue.
When you say try to run down a cop, I think of guys in cars who drive into those farmers markets. Who are using their vehicle to hurt people.
Andy,
intentionally using their vehicle to run over people. That's what I think of
like
here's
the problem. And Nate, you can confirm. Oh, I got two lawyers here and confirm this. If you're in your mind, you think you are about to die, you are about to be hit. Whatever the reason, erase everything else in the world. If the person standing there thinks I am going to die, this vehicle is about to hit me. There's also another cop there who is potentially going to be dragged. Does it at that point make it viable that you could fire if you feel that you are in danger? It could be wrong. She could have been buying groceries, whatever reason. They said stop. She didn't stop. She escalated. Now, it's a horrible tragedy. I'm not going to sit there and call her domestic terrorist, and I said that a bunch of times. I don't think she was, and I do think she panicked.
Thank you for saying that. I agree. We agree.
Okay, from the stance of the police officer, if he, or even if he wasn't an officer, let's say he was just somebody who had a gun, and they were like, stop, don't hit, at that point, if he thinks it's there, I think there's the claim for self-defense.
Well,
and
maybe
that's
for bullet
kind of where
one.
I'm going
Maybe
on
for bullet one. What about bullets 2 and 3?
Well, if you're threatened, you empty the gun. You never stop with one bullet. Then it's not a threat.
Can I just answer that? The law, it's if it happened in rapid succession, it's going to be not negligible. The law is not going to. If it happens within, let's say, that 1 or 2 seconds, it's just it's reaction. So
I've had federal prosecutors tell me that's not true. So I mean, I guess.
Hold on. Let me.
The vehicle didn't stop either with one bullet. It was still going.
Let Nate. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah. So just let me try to finish this point. Okay, so one bullet is 3 shots, right? But it's when the shots happen. So if a federal prosecutor is saying, in this instance, in 3 rapid fire succession shots in this particular, if the first bullet is okay, but the other 2, that person is just lying to you and is an idiot, and maybe his law license needs to be revoked. That's what I'm telling you, just straight off the face of it. As a cop, as a former prosecutor, he is just telling you what you want to hear. The truth is that if these shots happen like one shot, and then you had a pause where and then you have 2 other shots, then you have an argument. But these are rapid succession shots. So
and Nate, correct me if I'm wrong. An officer is trained to continue firing until the threat is stopped.
Stop the
threat.
No, but now I want to go back.
Legitimate question. Go ahead. Can you not create a more dangerous threat with a dead woman slumped on the acceleration, smashing into potentially public people in cars?
Well,
but you're not shooting to kill. You're shooting to stop the threat, which I know,
dude. Come on, shots to the face that close range,
which sounds horrible. But
it's excessive, no?
That's what law enforcement is trained to do. You're trained to shoot to stop the threat. You're not trained to actually shoot to kill. And obviously, death is a natural consequence sometimes for people who are shot, but not all times people are shot. And again, shooting into a moving car is not advisable, but sometimes it just has to happen. Now, you were saying in this particular case, because I pulled this still up, and now I would like.
Okay, I can play for you.
You tell it. So here it is. So I'm going to go back to this.
So because he gets pushed. So I don't know which one. Well, there's 2 things to look at. On the top one,
the top one.
I guess his right foot. That's the one on the
back. You got one back and one toward the car.
Yeah, the one in the back. The one in the back. Watch it in slow mo.
Okay, so we're going slow mo. So the one in the back. So he's got both. The car's coming. He's being put, so the car.
Right foot's still there, man. Right foot's still there.
Hold on.
I know. I'm just commenting. The right foot's still there.
But
I see the right foot at an angle there.
But I want to
you
ask
talking about his left foot?
But I want to ask you, Andy, if we're looking at the foot from the top.
Okay, stop right there, Nate. You can see the
being pushed.
Yeah.
His left foot is moving. I agree. His left foot is moving.
It does look.
His left foot is moving. You are absolutely correct. Is his left foot being hit or is his left foot being pulled away? Now, again, let me just make clear. She shouldn't have gone forward. She should have stopped. I'm not denying any of that. Everyone thinks I'm being an idiot. My point is, I'm watching this. I don't think she's really a threat for this guy. I don't. I think this guy's being a little bit of a snowflake. If you really want my unbased thing, dude, don't step in front of a moving car in a hot situation like this. Obviously, that's like this dumb.
Now, I'll tell you. Now, Andy, I want to say this and just be honest with you, Andy. What you're saying is a little ridiculous, and I'll tell you.
I disagree, but go ahead. I'll hear you out.
But I like to just give you the conclusion. I'll tell you exactly why. In law enforcement, we're supposed to catch criminals, and sometimes we have to use, unfortunately, our bodies as shields to try to block people in. And I've been in situations where, unfortunately, people jump in the cars. The car is off. The cop gets in front, stop the car, and they'll put their hands in front of the car. Stop the car, get out the car. The person turns the car on. The first thing you do is you pull your pistol out. You better not put that car forward. As the car then comes forward, you shoot. Now, they make sure in the academy to tell you don't find yourself in front of a car. If you can, that's not ideal. But there are situations where you will find yourself in front of a situation like that, and you have to act accordingly. So it's not a blanket rule.
I agree wholeheartedly. But again, there's two things I feel like we're just ignoring.
Well, I think we're missing something.
Was just parked in a road. This was not some drug bust or illegal alien or criminal. This was a mom who dropped her kid off at school.
Andy,
who was parked in a road.
I want to use your same video. Nate, please back it up.
All right, I'm back.
Because we're talking about him being in front of the vehicle.
Yes.
But keep in mind, she was in reverse. So can we go back to where she's reversing? So even the argument about him being in front of the vehicle is an interesting question, because she's reversing, he's advancing on the vehicle, then she puts it in drive and he's still in front of the vehicle. That's what I just saw a minute ago. So go back to the,
So this is where she's letting other cars by. Right, so she's got the
not blocking traffic. Let's
hold on. We're not talking about blocking.
Okay. She is blocking traffic. But that's what she's telling people that she's literally blocking traffic.
She's literally waving that. Yeah. Hold on, wait.
She's waving them around
that car to go around her.
Yes, but
the ICE agents who are blocked, she's literally telling them to go around her. So they thought it was a threat enough to go surround her car and thought it could be gun worthy. Andy, you're telling me.
Do you hear?
As an officer, I'm asking you legit. She's telling you to go around her. She's just a lady in a car. You think this was worthy of the escalation that these ICE officers did?
No. What's happening?
Thank you for at least saying that.
What's happening is that what you've done is, like, on one end you'll say she's not blocking anything. She's not blocking anything, and then the next words out of your mouth is she's blocking traffic and waving people around. So it's like you're moving your target.
Let me correct myself.
So let me hold on. Andy, I've let you finish. I've let you.
Partly blocking traffic. Thank you for pointing that out. I will correct myself.
At least let me finish my point, because I try to be fair. So my only point is we have to be consistent. She's blocking traffic. It's clear as day. She's blocking traffic. She's not blocking traffic when it's good for my argument.
Thank you. I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to get over you pointing out that I'm wrong.
All right.
Now, Nate, please answer it. Please answer it with the partly blocking traffic.
But if you're asking me, the partly blocking traffic.
What traffic is she blocking?
What
traffic is she blocking, Andy?
No, hold on, wait, because this is important to me, and I so love you, Nate. I love you. After this is done, I'm so good with you guys. I'm so grateful. We will have this conversation with you, because you might change my mind. And I think that's what's so important about these conversations. But I'm that, because this is where I think a lot of people like me are hung up. And audience, I know you're like, just hear it out. The reason I think a lot of us are hung up is because I believe the ICE agents escalated this more than they needed to. I firmly believe that. And you kind of just admitted it. You said no.
He didn't actually. He said for a second, and I think it was like no, as in like let me finish my sentence. But whatever.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Anyway.
Well, then Nate, I want to then correct. Hold on, just so I'm clear, Nate. I want to ask that question. She's partly blocking traffic. Thank you for correcting me. I was wrong. She's partly blocking traffic. Cars are getting around her, but she's clearly blocking a lane.
What,
right?
what traffic is she blocking, Andy? I just want to know what you said. Partly. So that means she's blocking some traffic, but not
around her.
Well, hold on. She's blocking some traffic, but not other traffic.
Yes,
correct?
Partly blocking traffic. Yes.
Right. So is there a particular part of the traffic she is blocking?
Well, could the ICE agents get around her? Is she
I don't know.
impeding them?
I don't know. She's letting some get around her, but not others.
Go around him, right?
She's insert. Was that ICE?
Did you see a car go around her?
Was that ICE? Was that an ICE agent?
Yes.
Yeah.
So was she impeding ICE?
So
if you want to argue semantics with me, let's really do it.
Okay, go for it.
Impeding ICE.
She did not impede that ICE. Did she impede others?
Okay, but this.
No, you wanted semantics, Andy. We'll go semantics.
Literally waving this ICE agent around her. Look at her arms.
Okay,
go back. Go back and watch. You guys refuse to watch it
right.
with this other perspective. It seems.
No. You're 1,000% right.
Look at her. She's waving the car around, and they got out of the car instead of going around her.
Andy, hold on. I'll calm down. I'm the one who said you're right. She did wave the first ICE agent around, and the second ICE agent car is telling her to move, and she is not moving. So now this is the part.
So I come back to my question to you, Nate.
Hold on.
Was this an over-escalation?
Hold on. I don't think this was an over-escalation at this point because you have law enforcement officers, you have a thing, and they're going to this car. Now they could be trying to figure out, are you stuck or anything, right? They're going to see, why are you blocking traffic? So they're going up to the car.
Of that?
I don't know if they asked any of that.
Andy, what are we going to watch and see?
I'm watching to see what happens.
The car they tell her to do.
So they're saying, I don't know why they're telling her to get the hell out of the car. But now you have a law enforcement officer.
Hold on, did you hear him say that? Do we have the audio?
Moments later, shots are walked toward the vehicle.
So now,
why are you parked here? Ma'am, can you move? Immediate escalation.
Let's take this from what it is. Get out of the car. So now they've given her a lawful command, right? You're blocking traffic. The car's in the back. We want you to get out the car. And as you can see, the car's in reverse, right? The car's in reverse. That's what those white lights are on. So she's reversing. Okay. And now,
which means she's trying to get out of the way.
Okay. So now let's see what happens.
De-escalating.
So now the officers say, get out the car. So so you will now admit she's not getting out of the car. She's not putting the car in park, and she's disobeying a direct order from the officer, right?
Yes. But I also would say, is it not your job as a cop sometimes to de-escalate a situation?
Yeah, of course.
Right. And do you think those officers are doing that?
No, I don't think at this point. I think at this point.
No, and do you think that makes someone maybe jerk around and do something maybe they shouldn't?
Not ram your vehicle into somebody. I don't think that.
Not get out of the car out of fear.
So I don't think that's the excuse to run down a cop because I.
But like if I'm in that car and I'm that lady and this masked guy comes to me and says, "Get the fuck out of your car."
Masked guy with a police.
Am I not, as a U.S. citizen, allowed to be afraid?
You can be afraid as a U.S. citizen.
What if I want to make sure my law? What if I want to make sure my rights?
As a U.S. citizen, don't have the right then to run down that cop.
Well, hold on. We're not there yet. Let's talk because
come on, you're jumping around there.
No.
You jumped as a U.S. citizen.
It all counts, guys.
You jump.
Well, hold on. Let's get back. So let's
I'm living in this moment right here.
Let's take this session. So now
their job.
Car is in reverse. The car is in reverse.
I won't. Don't let me. You're ignoring my point. But go ahead.
What's your point?
What point are we ignoring?
Part is irrelevant, guys, and you want me to just shut up and like?
No. I'm listening.
What's your point?
We're listening.
You just said it's a job. It's an officer's job to de-escalate. They are not.
Yes.
They are escalating. They are creating a scene where I'm not justifying her actions, but I'm explaining why it got out of hand. And I'm blaming both of them. With both of their faults.
Okay.
We've agreed, but I don't even know why we were so hot. We've agreed.
I don't know either.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm like we're all agreeing with what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Let's move forward from this one.
Won't accept the reality of the situation, but it's like some people just won't accept. There's another side to the story.
So she's backing up now, right? She's backing up. Now she's backing up with a cop. It says police. They got police cars all over the place. He's got police on his jacket, and they got police everywhere. She's backing the car, and he's holding the door, right?
Hold on.
Hold on. Go ahead.
I don't agree with that telling. I see her.
He's not holding the door.
I see her in a spot she shouldn't be. Clearly wrong. Clearly wrong. I'm not denying that. But then I see her telling what they want to get around. I see her saying, "Okay, go around." And then I see her. You can tell she's backing up.
Okay.
She's trying to leave. She's trying to remove their stuff from the car. But at that point, ICE aggressively got out of their car. Get the fuck out of your car. What the fuck? They're escalated to a point because they aren't trained well. They aren't. And they've gone from 0 to 10.
Now, Andy,
at that point,
you're retelling.
That's relevant.
You're retelling. You changed the order. The order is the cops got out, told her to get out the car. She, instead of following the orders or even putting the car in park, started moving the car. The officer, as you can see here, has his hand on the door. And if he says it in your in the narration.
Show me when the reverse lights are first on.
Oh, all right. Let's go all the way back.
Because you can tell when she's in reverse, right? Those lights will be on.
Yes, those lights are on. So here we go. Here we go. And we're going to go before the officers get to the car. It's in park now.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's in park. And then when the officers get to the car, they say get out, and the reverse lights come on.
Can you go back? I may be wrong, but I thought she was reversing before then too.
No, she wasn't reversing before then.
Okay,
only to the point when the officers.
I just want to make sure.
Only to the point when the officer said, "Okay, enough's enough."
Just play it back for me, so I can see it for my own eyes and be wrong.
Play it back.
I will admit I'm wrong when I'm wrong.
So she's
now. Before this.
You want to see the? Okay.
I believe. Sorry, I want to make sure.
Two agents exit this silver pickup and walk toward the vehicle.
The car's in park.
Okay. I stand corrected. So she is pulling back. Thank you for pointing that out. She is pulling back right there. Okay, got it. That's important.
Now she's pulling back because
so
now I've dealt with this before as a cop, where you tell them you're going to jail, and now they want to leave. No, it's okay now. So they're telling her you're going to jail now for whatever reason, right? I don't know if it's a lawful arrest, but for whatever reason, right? They're telling her we're taking.
She's going to be detained for sure.
Yes. So now,
to be fair, she should have been. I'll agree. Yeah.
So now the cops. So we're finally at a place of agreement.
Yeah.
I
never said she should have
lawfully trying to detain this person, right?
Yep.
So now one goes to the door to try to open up the door. Okay. So now she's backing up, and she's backing up. Now this is dangerous enough already.
With
she's
the
moving
cop,
a car with
touching
the cop,
the car,
touching with the head on his handle. The cop then puts his arm in the car to open the door, as you can see, and she stops. The car's in park now.
Now, a legitimate cop question, because you know better.
Well, I don't know if it's in park or between states, Nate. How long is it here?
States, but we know the car is not in drive.
It's not in drive,
and it's not in reverse. But go ahead, Andy. Right.
Sorry, no, because I want your insight, because like I said, maybe you'll change my mind. Is this again? I'm not trying to blame the cop, but I feel like a cop is designed to sort of establish the threat levels when you step into these situations to protect yourself, protect the neighborhood. No, is that? And so
it's a time issue too, Andy. The whole scenario takes place in approximately 1.5 to 3 seconds, and there's but there's a whole lot. No matter how much training you have and all that, part of the problem is that to make such decisions in such time. When you have one guy, remember you're talking about the cop being hit. Don't forget the guy whose arm is in the car too, who's about to be dragged off. You have another cop in the front now. Past circumstances could be bad or good for him, depending on look. But he's been dragged by a car.
We don't know
for 100 yards.
I will have that argument when we get there. But I'm asking in this moment, we do know what happened. Nothing. She's blocking the road. Is all we know.
Let's not go with the officer's pass, because he doesn't know that. So go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
Anyway, I'm just saying that. So we're 1 second into this. So we've got a guy in front of the car. He's got his other one there. She's not stopping. She's acting erratic. Something's going on here. You've got this vehicle. You've got the people around, and she's suddenly pulling out. And not stopping. And it's gonna. So the first escalation is her. However you look at
escalation is reaching on the door handle.
I disagree, because she was already backing up.
I'll agree to disagree. I'll go ahead.
Okay, because when he said stop the car, you said she ignored him, right?
I will.
That is an escalation.
Myself, get the fuck out of the car was the first acceleration. Yes. You didn't that aggressively.
You know what? I would be fair with that. I would be fair that escalated. In other words, it wasn't de-escalating. Excuse me, man. Can you please get out? Something like that would have been better.
Thank you. So now, not only are we hot from get the fuck out of the car, which is a threat, then you're listen. car
No,
door
get
handle.
the F out the car is not a threat. It's
and then well, to me, as I would see it as that, whether it is or not legally, it's going to put me on my defense.
Yeah, it's legally a command that I'm going to take you into custody. And now if you start resisting, you're resisting arrest. But I don't want to get to the technical details. The car is stopped. It's not in drive. It's not in reverse. An officer has his arm in the car and the officer's in front. Lights and sirens behind you. They're telling you to get out the car. At this point, Andy, what should happen? Before we do anything else, what should happen? Should she now just open the door and say what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I would have let her leave. She do? I would honestly backed up and let her leave. The block would have been.
No, what's her job? What's her job in this?
What should happen?
She should have stopped and got out of the car.
All right,
I will concede to that. I will concede to that. At this point, but I would also argue the officers didn't need to be as aggressive, and they should have just let her leave.
Agreed.
Their organization.
But legally at this point,
he gave a lawful order. It was inelegant, but it was a lawful order.
Well, I mean, legally, she's dead, so she can't go to jail now. So that's the problem.
She can't go to jail now, but
she should have gone to jail. They should have arrested her. Yes.
But I'm asking you, at this point in time, she should be getting out the car and whatever happens.
Look, stopping and sitting there.
I would argue. I feel like we've given ICE agents too much power, and as a citizen, I'm kind of terrified by it because I have no way to track it. I have no idea who this officer is. They are illegally detaining people. As a citizen with my rights, I would actually want to pause. I wouldn't just want to have to agree to an ICE agent.
Andy,
Personally,
in fairness,
I don't trust them.
Andy, in fairness, do you know specifically what training ICE agents actually go through? Do you know what training I don't, and that's why I'm asking you because
I don't think
because you said they're untrained, they don't know anything, and you've made a lot of claims, to be fair, that they are untrained, they don't know anything, that they're running out the road. How much training do they actually have? I don't know. I do know Border Patrol. Hold on. I have an opportunity.
You think they had training after this incident and some of the other ones out there?
Andy, you're not letting me finish. You made these claims about the training, and I'm asking you, did they have 1 week training, 8 weeks training? Do they have a police academy? Do they not? What is it? I do not. And
I'm asking the AI.
But I wasn't making a claim about their training level.
I'm confident. I'm confident it's not that extensive. And if I'm wrong, I will come apologize on this show.
Well, any law enforcement officer has to get at least 6 months.
It should be easy to show me the training they've had.
Yeah. Oh, and there you go. But I'm not making the claim.
Very public knowledge, and we should all feel
but again, though, I'm not making the claim of their lack of training. You are, so therefore you have to prove your claim.
This is it. The training manual says they have to have 13 weeks of training. Federal law enforcement agencies focused on immigration law, arrest and detention procedures, and use of force standards. Constitutional law too. So 13 weeks. Standard police training is about 13 weeks.
Okay. So this is not lack of training compared to a normal police officer. Now, if you're saying that all law enforcement are untrained, Andy, okay,
we have no idea what that 15-week training is.
3 months.
Well, you're moving the goalposts.
What is that? Listening to Dean Cain talk, and 3 months. What's the training?
The training is on immigration law. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what the training is. Training, focus, immigration law, arrest and detention procedures like putting people under arrest, defensive tactics, use of firearms, use of force procedures, and constitutional standards in arrest. The training is for 3 months of formal academic training and thing followed by on-the-job training. So in total, they have about 6 months of training, 3 in class, 3 in the field.
About the same as a normal police officer.
Was that comprehensive enough or no?
I wasn't in the training, so I don't know.
I'm just saying, but just in terms
I'm going after the Department of Justice, justice.gov. And I'm going to because I'm basing this because he didn't follow it. Okay. De-escalation rules, which is 116.300. Deadly use of force, which is 116.200. We can go through them as well, Nate, if you want. Firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles. Correct. Specifically, firearms may not be discharged at moving vehicles. Now, this is where the debate comes, I'm aware, before you all correct me, unless the person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another person with deadly force by means other than the vehicle.
Okay.
The vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens to cause death or serious physical injury to the officer or others. Now, that's going to be the argument they make. I get it. But it's in there, and it's going to be debatable, and that's what we're debating.
And
the idea that I'm wrong or you're wrong is wrong.
No, because there's no wrong here. This is
correct.
All,
it's all subjective. I'm not mad, I hope you guys are mad. I'm glad Kurt's enjoying the popcorn. I am too.
obviously, we're not mad. What we're doing is we're trying to just get to this conclusion. So now we're at the point. I hate getting back to it, but we're at the point. Car stopped. Not going forward, not going backwards. Officers in front, officers on the side, and in the car.
Can you go open up 116-300 since you're telling me I don't know he's trained? De-escalation. Officers will be trained in de-escalation tactics and techniques designed to gain voluntary compliance.
What's the thing? I got to type it in.
Oh, I'll put it in the chat here. All right. Yeah, let's put it on screen, please.
I wanted to. That's what I was saying.
Because you're telling me I'm just assuming things unfairly. I don't feel like he followed the training. Because it's in the rules.
I am not a robot. Okay.
It's in the studio chat, the private chat.
No, I got it. I got to pull it up right now.
Go ahead. I will set up. You read the de-escalation and tell me, did he do that in this situation?
Oh, no. I'm all right. So now so let me answer your question.
We're so quick to blame the driver, but the officer.
I want to answer.
The officer, he's always right. And we can't doubt
Andy, you're not letting him answer your question.
I want to.
No, I was talking to the chat. I didn't mean that in the interview.
I want to answer that question directly.
Please.
He did not. I believe he did not follow policy, but there's always a but. There's situations in which you can break the policy, but still not be legally charged with murder. And I'll give you a classic example. In New York City, chokeholds were banned because of a case called Anthony Baez v. NYC, where a young man named Anthony Baez was choked by a police officer and killed when they were trying to arrest him, because back at that time, chokeholds were illegal. Police said no more chokeholds and made it against policy. Then there was a guy named Eric Gardner who was selling Lucy cigarettes. The officer was attempting to arrest him and placed him in a chokehold. That officer was subsequently fired for that chokehold. But when a review of the evidence came, the person was resisting arrest. So yes, the person violated policy, someone died, but because of the circumstances, it didn't rise to a criminal violation. So the person lost their job, but the person wasn't criminally prosecuted. So in this case, your argument, even if we take it for face value, I will say, yes, he violated the policy, but that doesn't mean he murdered this woman. Violating the policy doesn't equal automatic murder conviction.
And on that note, Nate, would you argue, and this is a completely different case, but it's a similar principle. If I am a felon and somebody is trying to kill me and I take a gun and I shoot and kill that person, I broke the law by having a gun as a felon. But it's not murder. It is definitively self-defense in that particular scenario. I can be charged for the gun charge, but not for the actual killing of the other person. Is that a fair analogy?
Correct. If it was in self-defense, yes. But now I want to get, I know we've been trying to get through this 3 seconds. It's crazy. So let's get through this 3 seconds, right? Here we go. We're back here again. Car stopped. All right, I'm going to say this one more time because every time I say this, we jump into some other crap. So please, let's get through. Car stopped. It was reversed. Now it's not. Car stopped. Not going forward, not going back. Officer with his hand in the car, telling her to get out. Officer in front. Moving forward, right? So we're all good, right? I'm going to start moving this forward. Here we go. So now she moves the car forward. Car's moving forward. Here we go. So, Andy, would you agree? She moved the car from reverse, then she moved it to drive. And now there's an officer in front of the car, and she's hit the accelerator. Agreed? Or do we have any disagreement with that?
Yeah, look, I mean, I can end all of this, and I think we agree more than we realize. That the problem is the hot in the comments, everyone else kind of proves my point. Mm-hmm. I don't think he needed to draw his gun.
Okay,
he did not get run over. I don't think he was gonna get run over. It was very clear he could sidestep that. He might have been swiped. Fair. Okay, fine. He might have been slightly hit. He's clearly fine.
Well, hold on, Andy.
She's not.
Let me ask you one thing. You just said he could have clearly stepped to the side. Would you consider that to be hindsight?
No, I think he put himself. He had every opportunity.
What you just said.
He had every opportunity to not be in front of that car, and he chose to be in front of that car. He was blocking that car.
Yes, but specifically, you said, in hindsight, he could have just moved to the side, right? He could.
Well, we know he did. I didn't mean in hindsight. He did
hold
move to the
on,
side.
Nate. I'm sorry, Andy. When you say he was clearly blocking the car, she backed up. So he moved into position. She backed up. So she's backing up. He's moving into position.
Why did she back up though?
Because she was. Well, I don't know. She was told to get out of the car. So
Yeah,
I
why
don't
do you
know. But let me finish. You're talking about he's standing in front of the car. Well, no, he moved into position. She's backing up. He's moving into position. This car is moving. He's moving into position here. She changed the direction of the car into him. He got into. Hold on. He didn't just go. Hold on. But your claim is that she was driving forward. He got and stepped out in front of her and he pointed down. That's not the case. She backed up. Did she not back up? Yes or no?
She backs up and then she does seem to put the gas, but then you immediately.
But did he move into position while she was backed up? Yes or no?
Sorry, I don't. What
was he moved into the position from a car moving away from him? Remember, it was reversing. Did he not get in front of the car as it was backing away to cover his partner, whatever it is? Because now you have somebody who is not reacting in a manner. Now, Nate, you're a cop. Correct me if I'm wrong. She was asked to get out of the car. Now suddenly she's moving the car. At this point, you are the cop in the front. And are you going to shift into position to cover your partner who was touching the car, or is that the window who is potentially about to be in danger right now as the car is backing away?
I would have never put myself in this situation, so it's impossible for me to tell you what I would do because all of this was accelerated.
Well, I asked Nate that. I asked Nate that as a cop, Andy. I asked Nate that as a cop, not you. I asked Nate because of the procedure.
I will say this. There's truth and mistake, and I'm going to just to make two corrections. Number one, generally officers go to both sides, so you'll see one at the driver's side, one at the passenger side, and that's what you see here. You'll see when the car starts moving, an officer comes from the passenger side. The third officer does supposed to go to either the front so they can see, but as Andy has pointed out, which I have to give him total credit for, the officer's not supposed to put yourself in a position where you could be harmed or you could be in danger. But I'll say this, when the car is stopped and the officer goes in front of the car, now you've got to read the officer's mind to know that the officer knew she was going to drive forward or he was in danger, because the car is at this point stopped when he's in front of the car, right? So and I think that's what Eric's point is. The car is backing up from the officer and then stopped. So I think that's the difference here. So yes, they're trying to cover each other, but also Andy's point is valid, where if this car was moving forward, the officer doesn't jump in front of the car. But I don't think we have that here. I think the officer was in front of the car already and it was moving forward.
And I'm saying the opposite. I was saying it's literally moving away from him when he's getting in front of it.
All right.
Because it was reversing.
So now let's just move this thing forward. Here we go. So now the car doesn't start moving until this point. So the car's starting to move forward, and the officer is pulling his weapon when the car is moving toward him. Do we agree? You can see the officer in the back there. He's pulling his weapon. Car's moving.
I see
Car's
that.
moving. Now he has his weapon pointed at the car that's moving toward him. Okay. Car's moving toward him, weapon pointed. And then she doesn't stop the car. She hits the accelerator.
Right. Just so I'm clear, she shouldn't have driven away. She should have been arrested. Everyone says I agree with you guys on that.
Okay.
What I'm arguing is I don't think he needed to pull his gun.
Agreed.
That's what I'm fighting here is because again, the de-escalation policy, which you didn't read, he did none of it. The whole time.
But Andy,
the whole time.
Why do I have to read it when I say I not only did I agree with you,
I
said you were right about the policy.
You can see that point. But that's all I'm arguing here is she's
100% right about that. I'm giving you that.
Arrested. She should have been detained 100%. They still could have done that without drawing a gun. Now everyone's saying he was threatened. She's a terrorist. All that nonsense.
Did I not say she was not a terrorist?
I don't know, but I'm talking about the general. I wasn't even speaking about this chat room. You guys, sorry if I was.
Don't let it distract because it takes away from
the general consensus is trying to turn this into like
Andy.
she was some domestic terrorist.
Now, what you have just employed is what's known as hindsight, right? What the officer could have done, what you would have done in that situation, what an officer should have done in that situation. But that's irrelevant. And I'm not saying this as an offense, it's just irrelevant. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt, but because I think that's and again, this is where I think the heart of the issue is. And again, I'm not going to lie, there's emotions to it. Of course.
Yeah.
I have my own bias and emotions, but I think that's the problem with these ICE agents. They're hot for valid reasons because they are trying to do their job. I'm not denying that. They're trying to do their job. People are protesting them. People are trying to dox them. That's real. I'm not going to deny that.
They're more than protesting. In fairness, I mean, there are bricks thrown at them. There's other things going on. It's not a comfortable scenario. It is hot.
Sure,
it is hot. And let me finish. It's hot going into the ground all around. So in fairness, just saying protest is actually kind of understating some of what they're dealing with.
The protest, because there's a lot of racial profiling. There's a lot of aggressive, power-hungry ICE agents as well. There's bad apples on both sides. Would you disagree?
For sure. And the problem is too, you have agent provocateurs in the mix as well, in my 100%. Opinion.
There's a lot. This is all a lot of distraction, I think, from not having us focus on the billionaires that are controlling us all. Like, don't get me started on that. And the AI that's going to overrun all of this. This is also the fact that we're arguing about this is so silly. The officer should go to trial, figure it out at trial. Why are we all so passionately trying to justify murder potentially?
I want to be very clear.
It's an incident.
This is not going to trial. He's more than likely never going to see a trial, and I'll tell you why. There's one reason.
And by the way, Andy, I would say homicide, not murder. At the most, it would be homicide, not murder. There's a very big difference.
Now, I want to be very, very just clear. What you're saying is that from your perspective, as someone who's not trained, any of that, this is what should have happened. But the law will now say no. What you've just said and your feelings and how you believe things should have happened is absolutely irrelevant to the situation. It's irrelevant for uncivil law and Eric also. So it's not you. Sure. But you have to look at this position. The law says, matter of fact, I can pull it up. I even have a slide. I'll pull it up later. The law says that you cannot, number one, use hindsight to Monday morning quarterback. And you have to look at the situation from the facts and information the officer knew at the time and from the officer's position. And it's from the perspective of not that officer, not this officer, but a reasonable officer. If we placed a reasonable officer in that officer's position, would that reasonable officer do something similar? Now, that reasonable officer could do something similar, but if it's possible that reasonable officer would have done the same thing, then you have no case. And that is what the argument is on the other side. Is that
Nate, you're a reasonable officer. Would you have done something similar?
Well, but you're also an officer. This is an agent. Let's really get specific and technical.
Well, just to clear,
you had a lot more training than this.
No. They're law enforcement agents, law enforcement officers.
Did you not have a lot more training than these agents?
Let me answer that. When I say officer, the case that we're talking about is called Graham v. Connor, and it talks about all law enforcement agents or officers in the United States. So ICE has to follow this, and even let's say New York NYCPD,
FBI, Border Patrol, ATF,
even the sheriff in the local town, they all have to follow Graham.
Why doesn't ICE have to follow the same protocols of the other officers with the body cams and IDs and protocol and paperwork?
So there are two different types.
Well,
it depends. There's a constitutional standard that we all have to follow. That's Graham v. Connor, and that's Graham v. Connor and Tennessee v. Gardner. Those are the constitutions. So everybody has to follow it. Objectively reasonable. Then there are departmental policies. So in New York City, all cops wear body cams and they have to wear badges. And New Jersey, they got some towns where they can't afford body cameras. So guess what? They don't wear body cameras. So each individual jurisdiction dictates the policy and the way their officers operate. But there's a constitutional standard that everybody must abide by. And this case, since these are federal officers, have to abide by the constitutional standard, which is, would a reasonable officer standing in front of a car with his gun drawn and the vehicle accelerates toward him?
Yeah, but
is it unreasonable for him to fire into that vehicle?
But you're ignoring the powder keg of what the problem with the ICE agents is. Like, And it's so frustrating because even now it's like I don't care about the comments, but I want to react. I'd like to know what the room feels, and it's like Andy doesn't respect ICE agents. Well,
I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying
Andy,
that.
a
It's
couple-
so frustrating the generalizations that happen because I absolutely support immigration reform and making sure we have proper legal, laws that have legal people here. 100%. My issue is I don't feel like we're doing it legally now. I feel like we're doing it shadily. I feel like the reason they're wearing their masks is because they know they're doing a little aggressive and they want whatever power they can do to pull it off.
Or maybe it's that they don't want to be identified.
Let me finish.
Well, I've been trying to.
No, I don't want to let you finish because
I wanted to
you're
answer
rolling
the
out
mask
for everyone else.
question.
Why should we respect you when you don't respect anyone else?
So let's do this. Let's do a speaking.
Well,
stick.
that's
So
the first thing you
want
said.
Andy,
I never, Kurt. I never said anything specific to you. You just made it personal.
Let's
Oh, no,
you
I've
an
just
ICE
been
agent?
observing you, and also the
hold on.
goalpost is getting pretty
Let's stop all this. Andy,
Because I'm not
finish
speaking
your
about
point.
you directly. Why are you taking it so personal?
Andy, finish your point.
Because you're
And then we're going to
disrespecting my
move the.
friends.
Then we're going to move to Kurt. And then
Because
we'll
hold
move
on,
to
Nate.
Eric.
Because I don't want to disrespect Kurt. Why do you think I disrespect
You're disrespecting my friends. You keep talking over them.
I don't want
You don't let
to
them
get.
finish.
I don't want to. Let's not derail this into something else. Andy, finish your point. Then we'll move to Kurt, and we'll address hopefully Andy's point, and then we'll move to Eric. So let's do it that way.
The
Since
issue
you
is
said
just-
you weren't finished with your point.
I'm not
Go ahead.
even really stating it. My opinion on ICE doesn't matter. Kurt's opinion on ICE doesn't matter. That's the problem here. Like the law matters. And I feel like right now, if someone's pulled over for immigration reform, I should be able to know who the agent is. I should be able to know where I'm taken. I should be able to challenge and know why. I should have a court that allows me to fight it. And currently, it's not really working that way, is it, Nate?
I believe it is, but I want to move to Kurt because I promised him that he'd be able to speak next. Go ahead, Kurt.
No, I just have constantly. I've been observing Andy just move the goalposts constantly. He says, "Oh, there isn't training," and then we say, "Yes, there is." "Oh, the training isn't good enough." "Oh, it's this," and then it's like, "Oh, no, it's just like the constant moving of the goalposts is incredibly frustrating." And then he says, "Okay, I don't have a problem with immigration, but I do have a problem with actually enforcing the law." Okay, and it says, "I wish I had the ability to challenge something if I were arrested." I'm like, "You do." I'm pretty sure all those things are true. So I don't even know what Andy's position anymore.
I
is
can
other
bring
than,
more-
other than Orange Man.
Hold on. Remember,
But I can,
everybody?
I can come more prepared and show you why I believe those things. If that's what you're asking me, Kurt.
Second, please, Andy, please. Okay, Eric. I was going to give you the mic, but let me let Andy respond to Kurt just while it's fresh, while it's top of mind. If you don't mind, I'm sorry. I know
there are. I mean, this idea that there aren't ICE agents doing this, detaining people a lot unlawfully, arresting them unlawfully, is just a joke to me. Of course there are. There are bad apples, and that's what's leaving this bad taste in their mouth. And you and everybody should be calling that out and holding them accountable, but no one is. We're justifying. Well, the means justify it. And they don't for me. The law trumps it all. And if anybody, an ICE agent included, no one is above the law.
Let Eric.
Okay. Couple things. Number one, you brought up the mask issue. Now, there are different circumstances with masks and identifications, etc., with cops. And Nate, you can probably confirm this or not, but there are certain requirements in scenarios. Now, I hate to use the term SWAT, but I noticed that SWAT doesn't have their faces shown.
Correct. SWAT.
Things like that. There are also cops who sometimes serve in undercover roles and they can't have their identity shown. The bottom line of a mask, and right or wrong, when they are potentially personally threatened by the job that they are doing, and this has happened, Andy, again, where they're being called out, saying, take pictures of them, follow them, track them. There is a very real, actual physical threat to the cops themselves. Now, Black Bloc, Antifa are also, they're wearing masks too. There's people that are wearing COVID masks. There's a lot of masks that are going around. Now, I believe that probably just like any cop, and I'm not deep into the federal law, when a person is arrested by ICE or detained by ICE or anybody else, I believe cops have to fill out paperwork. I might be wrong, but I do think they have to fill out paperwork. And
Cops
I do believe
yes, cops always
they're all cops. Andy, they're actually cops. They're all cops. Cops is a general term because the term cop itself.
Police officers do different training than them.
Hold on. A cop is a
it's
shortcut
like calling
term.
a man a woman to me. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go do that.
Okay, is it FBI?
Departments.
Andy, you're not letting me finish, for God's sake.
But you're telling me saying things I'm saying
not
that aren't true. So
Andy, well, let me finish my embellishments of your statements.
Finish your thought, and then we'll let Andy respond. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
When I say cop, I mean a law enforcement official, because the term cop itself doesn't apply to anybody. Police officer is if we're talking about a police officer. FBI agent is when we're talking about an FBI agent. A border patrol agent is a border patrol agent. ATF agent is ATF agent. And ICE is ICE, and on down the line. These are all law enforcement. Secret Service has them too. They're all law enforcement people. So when I say cops, I am using a broad shortcut term to say a law enforcement agent of some kind. Is that fair?
No, dictionary.com, a cop is a police officer.
Okay,
so go look it up and tell me if we're really going to argue definitions. Look it up.
And what is a police officer?
Okay, so I will say law enforcement official.
Thank you.
Please.
So there we go.
Okay.
Let me end this whole thing about cops.
Isn't that an officer who
police? Please. Why are we arguing this?
Please.
Why is that so passionate to you guys?
Stop one second.
Wow.
They're not
policing. Let's not get bogged down.
ICE isn't policing.
Let's not get bogged down to the definitions. Andy, unfortunately, with this particular situation, you're incorrect with the term police, because police is something that actually means something very specific, and it does encompass federal agents. For instance, you have Capitol Police, and these are policing agencies. So you can have people like, for instance, there was the animal control that would arrest people. The ASPCA in New York, they were known as police, but they only dealt with animals. So that's what I'm saying. Police,
the civil force of the national and local government responsible for the prevention and detection of crime and the maintenance of public order.
That sounds a lot like ICE.
Someone is killed, the police will inform. I mean, yeah, okay.
That's
maintaining law and order, and I don't feel like. No, I feel like if they are police, it's a form of police, right? It's a specific.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They are police.
They aren't law and order. They are immigration order. That's a different thing than law
enforcement officials.
They're not enforcing the law.
LEOs. They're LEOs.
Eric,
hold on, Nate. Police can arrest anybody, right? You can only an ICE agent can if they're impeding with their investigation. Correct?
No, ICE agent. All right. This is another foul.
That's a jurisdictional question.
Police officer can't necessarily arrest everyone. Depends on the details.
Yeah.
But the police officers have more jurisdiction to make arrests.
So in New York City.
No, I can't arrest somebody. A Hampton cop can't arrest a Newport News person automatically. There's a specific jurisdiction. Hardcore.
Let's move away from all of this. Eric, I want Eric to finish this point. Go ahead, Eric.
It's been so sidetracked on that, because I'm saying that they're all LEOs, they're all law enforcement officers, and they all have a degree of training.
So let's do this. Let's not get bogged down in the details. I think this may be helpful for our conversation. Andy, I have done a slide because so you understand. I was a training officer. So I trained new officers in the police academy on use of force. I have many qualifications. I'm not going to put them up like Dr. Rashad Ritchie, but I'm qualified to teach use of force for police officers in the state of New York. But that was 10 years ago. So obviously things changed. So what I'm going to show you is a presentation that I used to give officers, but this would apply to the federal officers. This is essentially federal law, because even state cops have to abide by federal law. So here is what I want to show you. And I think this will just help our conversation in terms of why we are looking at the law one way, and I think why you're looking at the law in a different way. So this is the so we're going to start with these two cases. I mentioned them earlier. Tennessee v. Gardner. These are the citations if you want to look them up later. Tennessee v. Gardner and Graham v. Carter. These are the cases that are going to be cited in this. There's a third case that happened recently, but I'm not going to go into that. In Tennessee v. Gardner, this case is actually, if you look in the ICE handbook, this case is cited, and it's called the fleeing felon rule. Essentially, in this case,
why is that cited, Nate? Why is that cited to them? Because they're all law enforcement officials.
Now, in this particular case, a state cop shot a fleeing felon in the back. This cop witnessed the felony. The guy ran. He shot the guy in the back. The guy's family sued, saying his rights were violated. The Supreme Court said, yes, you cannot shoot fleeing felons in the back just because you saw them commit a crime. You can only shoot them if they are a serious threat to an officer or other individuals. So in other words, if he's driving a car into a crowd, you can shoot at him.
Sure.
But if he's driving a car down the road and the road is clear, you can't shoot at him. That's essentially the fleeing felon rule. So this is it. Department of Justice, ICE has to follow it. Everybody, all law enforcement for the Department of Justice must follow this rule. Here's everything. The next case is Graham v. Connor. This modified this rule a little bit. In this particular case, this setup was called as the objectively reasonable standard. An objective standard used to judge an officer's actions in all states and all federal jurisdictions. This is what ICE must do. Under the standard, a particular application of force must be judged through the perspective of a reasonable officer, as I said before, facing the same set of circumstances without the benefit of 20/20 hindsight. So that's what I kept saying. Every time you kept saying, you could have stepped to the side, that you're looking at that with the benefit of 20/20 hindsight, and be based on the totality of facts that are known to the officer, not the facts that you know, but the facts that are known to the officer. Like you see a lot of people talking about the wheels. The wheels are pointed this way, the wheels are pointed this way. But if the officer's looking into the car, he may not know where the wheels are pointing. So that's what the totality of facts known to the officer, at the time the force was used. So this is Graham v. Connor. So it wouldn't just be anybody put in that situation. It's that officer, a reasonable officer trained. So the court says, well, if you're to find out if an officer is objectively reasonable, there are a whole bunch of factors, but the court lists 3 that you must look at. Now, there are some other factors, like, for instance, if I have 10 officers and 1 person, and an officer shoots that person, the person's unarmed, obviously that's not objectively reasonable. So there are more factors, but these are the 3 the court points to. Number 1, the nature of the 911 call. And it's interesting because you naturally did this, which is great. You naturally said, well, hold on, this person was just blocking traffic, right? The nature of the call is something simple. It's blocking traffic. Fine. Low. Less likely that force is going to be used. Was the person resisting arrest? I think if we're honest, we got to say absolutely. They told her, we're under blah, 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 blah. So now that switches that side of the officer. Well, hey, she was resisting arrest. It's more likely that force is going to be used. Now, the third factor is what we're all caught up on. Was this a serious threat to the officer? And now I'm going to say, from my experience as a prosecutor, cop, everything, if an officer's in front of a car and the person hits the accelerator knowing that the officer's in front of the car, that constitutes a serious threat. So in those situations, would it be objectively reasonable to use deadly physical force to stop what that officer felt was a deadly physical force threat? A 4,000-pound vehicle driving at you. And I think you can make an argument based on the factors from the Supreme Court case, that this officer was justified. Now, to prosecute this officer, the state is going to have to prove this officer was not objectively reasonable, beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you think, Andy, that the state, based on the facts we have now, will be able to prove this officer committed a murder beyond a reasonable doubt with the facts we have? I'll say if the standard was lower, I'll say you have an argument. But with the standard now, I don't believe you have this officer, and I believe this officer will not be prosecuted based on that standard. What say you, Andy?
Yeah, look, she was resisting. I'm not denying that. The question is the serious threat part of it, but you make a very good argument. I'm not going to deny that, and I think that's clearly what they're going to do. And yeah, I think it's very possible that happens. I'm not going to deny that, but I do think there's going to be an argument on the threat level. And I just, I don't think that situation warranted the gun being drawn. I just don't. And I guess where I think this whole issue comes from, and I respect Kurt, and I don't like that he thinks I'm just anti-ICE. There are a lot of bad ICE clips. And the problem is there's not a lot of people sort of calling that out. It's like they're left in a vacuum and then we ignore them, and people don't realize that that's boiling over and creating a bad look at ICE agents. And it's generalizing them in a way, just like conservatives were labeled racist. And everyone just coming at me saying I'm retarded and I'm libtard. You guys are the problem, because you got to hear my perspective, and we got to feel our way to meet in the middle to make ICE agents be more respected and people understand what they're doing and why it's important. And instead, the powder keg is going. We're all getting hot. We're all fighting each other. We're all throwing names at each other. And that's so unhelpful. It's so unhelpful. And it's led by our politicians right now who are choosing to divide instead of lead and try to unite both sides of the country, which whatever side you're on, you can't deny this is not a current administration that wants to unite the sides. He wants to lead his own side. And that's my biggest problem. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I'm an independent as it gets. Fuck Kamala. Fuck Biden. I think they're all idiots is the reality. I think most commoners, and I would agree with more things than they realize, but this issue is so hot button because of the bad apples in ICE. And I want to send you one, Nate. I want to send you because I want your legal analysis. Because you guys, what is this? Like there are so many of these. I'm putting in the chat. There are so many of these.
But
can we table the follow-ups with all the other ones? Because I know we are going to go about an hour or 2 hours, 20 minutes in.
That's my last well, actually, I have a hard out coming from. That's where I stand.
So now let me toss to Kurt because Kurt has been trying to get in and I've been blocking him. So Kurt, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but go ahead.
I don't. Well, I will say this. He said we need to find a way to meet in the middle. I will point out that there is the fallacy of the golden median. That if there are two extreme positions, that the correct answer must be somewhere in the middle, and that's not always true. Perhaps the most famous example of that would be during slavery, right? There are slave states and there are states that didn't believe in slavery, and there were all kinds of compromises, trying to be made. It's like, well, let's have slavery in these states, but not these states, right? But slavery is just a wrong, right? There is no compromise to be made between slave states and non-slave states, right? In the end, slavery is just fundamentally wrong. So, like, the answer is not necessarily to find a middle point we can agree on. I think Andy's analysis is wrong for reasons that you guys have been stating, and there's no middle ground here to be had. I'm sorry, Andy, you're wrong on the law, you're wrong on the facts, your analysis is broken, and with all due respect to me in the middle, I'm sorry, there's no middle ground to be had. So that's it.
I'll let you respond if you'd like to.
I got nothing to respond. He proved he's not able to be in the middle because it has to be his side. He's refusing to acknowledge that he could be wrong.
Oh,
I've already done that multiple times on this
wrong.
stream. I've also said she was guilty. You're just like aggressively telling me I'm wrong on every level, which implies you can't be wrong. Because God forbid something I said was right.
Me saying that you're wrong is not saying that I couldn't be wrong. It's me saying I don't believe that I am.
You don't believe. Thank you for clarifying that. So I will take that as proof he doesn't know it all. So that's all I got to say.
My stance on this is I think it's a horrible tragedy that got out of hand. And the problem is, legally speaking, I think the officer is in the right. She still has a child that doesn't have a mother. However we break it down, it is a horrible situation. I do not think she was a domestic terrorist. I think she most likely did panic. The problem is that she panicked in a situation where things spiraled out of control, and they spiraled out of control through the action she was doing, whoever started, whatever else, and we're just stuck with this horrible situation again with a child without a mother. The cop is not, I don't think that the ICE agent is going home feeling good either. A lot of people want to paint that brush. I'm sure he has to live with what happened as well, justified or not. He doesn't feel good about it. I think about, Kyle Rittenhouse, for example, all the things that were laid out on him, and that kid was suffering some major nightmares or whatever else. So this is a horrible scenario, and hopefully people can learn from it that if you get into situations, things can very quickly spiral out of control. I don't think that's an unfair take.
Well, I want to close with saying this. I think Andy's points are valid, but I think they're valid from a non-legal perspective. And that's because in terms of, I think, the legal outcome, I think it's probably pretty much going to be clear here that legally this officer is not going to have.
If Andy can look at me with a straight face and say that if he were standing where that officer was standing and the car was moving to him, he would not feel in danger. then I'll concede.
I would have
And
never put myself in that situation.
But if you were there,
Hold on.
that was the
Andy,
premise.
The
If you
premise
were
is if
there,
you were in the front of the
and there
car.
are multiple ways I know fully that I would not have put myself in that situation.
But the premise is you are there. That's the premise.
He put himself there.
Andy, we have.
I'm just asking if you
No.
were there.
Andy, what I have
Okay,
to
I'm not
say
going to
is
talk about hypotheticals that aren't happening.
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Andy,
In that
Andy,
case-
what?
Let's talk about something that's not
No,
ever going to
hold on.
happen. That's not happening,
Andy,
and
Yeah,
that proves
go
whether
fuck
I'm right or
yourself.
wrong. That
Andy,
makes no fucking sense.
Andy, would he?
I think Eric said a lot of really good points, and I
But let
agree
me-
with
let me-
pretty much everything he said. I do.
Let me.
But I would argue, why doesn't the officer have to have any accountability or say, you know what? Maybe he doesn't go to jail. Maybe he's not guilty, but maybe like, hey, did we need to pull the firearm? Let's look at it objectively.
Well, we don't know.
Andy,
Internally,
hold
he
on,
may
we're not
he
asking
may
that
be
question.
counseled. He may be
Andy,
written up.
Andy, I
We don't
want
know.
to
asking that question here. We're justifying
respond
him
to what
pulling out
Andy
the
just
gun and going to the last
said
resort.
I want to.
That's
respond
what
to
I'm fighting.
Andy just said to Kurt. What Kurt was trying to illustrate, Andy, he was trying to have you actually do the legal analysis, and the legal analysis.
Well, Andy's all
is,
over here.
No,
like,
hold on, Kurt. Let me. I know exactly what you're trying to do. So the legal analysis for this, if you were sitting on that jury, would be you must put yourself in front of that car with that officer's training and experience.
Yeah, but Nate,
And
I
you-
would
hold
see
on,
a
hold on,
lot more
let me
body
finish, let me
camera
finish, let me
footage.
finish,
Come
let me
on.
finish, let me
I would
finish.
see a lot
Of
more
course.
information.
Andy, just let me finish my point. So what he's asking you is, based on what you see now, you're the juror, and you would now have to put yourself in front of that car and say, was this officer acting reasonably when he was in fear? That's
Right,
all
the
he's asking you. He's not asking you whether
the
you would do it or to do
objectively
it.
test,
He's
right?
asking
No,
you,
you're going to
would
hate
you
me
be-
for
would
it, but I
be
think I'm not
reasonable
going to
for
be the only
saying that you
jury
would
that's
not
going
be
to say
afraid?
no. I don't think he
And
was
that's
reasonable
fine.
here.
And that's fine.
Sure.
But if a car is accelerating
But it's
towards you,
weird
and you're
that you
in front
can't
of it,
accept
sure.
that there's people who would feel that way.
I'm having a really hard time believing that if you
No, but
were
he's saying
standing
is
there,
you're
which
being-
of course
you're being
you would never be,
unreasonable.
so who
That's
could
what he's
even
saying.
contemplate?
Andy, it's not a
I'm having a
feel
real
that
hard
way.
time
Yeah.
believing that you wouldn't feel in danger.
Hold
I'm having
on, hold
a
on.
tough time with that
but,
one.
but Kurt, the situations that put him there are absolutely relevant, and you're ignoring them.
Oh my God, you're still fighting the hypothetical. I can't even.
But you're making a hypothetical. How is your debate not a hypothetical? What the fuck?
No, he's not. It's
You're
he's not-
literally asking me to answer a hyhypothetical.
No, he's
But
Yes,
then when I
that is
point
what I'm
out the
asking you to do.
hypothetical
No.
details that matter, I'm hypothetical? Come on.
He's asking you to evaluate the situation as a juror.
Which is
Under
is
the-
it not
under-
a hypothetical question, Nate?
Yes,
Is that
under,
not a hypothetical question?
yes, under
Thank
the
you, thank you.
under the legal standards.
But my
now,
hypothetical
based on-
backs, that's too far.
He's asking you to evaluate the situation that we've looked at.
No, I'm not
based
gonna
on
evaluate
the
a
based
situation
on the
I
legal
would've put
standards that
myself
we
in.
know that are there, by putting yourself in the officer's shoes and seeing if you would have any fear. Now, if you didn't,
Well, you know what? I'll answer
then
that
that's
question.
okay.
If I'm an officer and I have my gun drawn and a car coming at me, there would have had to be hell a lot more situations and leading events that got me there.
Okay,
1,000%.
and that's
Based on
fine.
the evidence, yes. Based on the evidence, I would have never drawn my gun in that situation. I wouldn't
Okay.
have.
And
I'm watching it live, and you're
I
telling me
wasn't
how
the
I would
question-
have.
that wasn't the question I
I
asked.
don't want to shoot somebody. I don't want to be quick
That
to
wasn't
kill
the question
somebody,
I
Kurt.
asked.
Andy,
I
Andy,
didn't
Andy,
ask if you draw
Andy,
your gun.
Andy, we need to be very specific here, and I'm not trying to be technical. I'm trying to be specific. The question isn't would you pull your gun. The question is
was.
about fear.
Yeah.
If you're in front of a car that's accelerating towards you and actually hits you,
Play that clip
you're-
I sent
you
you.
are
That-
saying
Play that
you are
clip I
saying-
sent you. That's the intent I believe that officer had.
No. Let's just maybe we need to calm down. Let's
Andy,
let's
what-
take this.
What
Well, only thing,
intent
hold on,
did you
please. Let
think he had?
me just finish this. Andy, if we I want to pull us back. If you, right, the law, the legal standard is, Andy, you're in front of that car. Andy, we're not about gun, not about anything. You're in front of a car. The car stopped. The car then starts accelerating towards you. Would that cause
How
you
is this
any
not a
type of
straw
fear?
man where I have to avoid all of the steps that got me in front of that car? I'm asking genuinely. You guys are all saying I'm being dumb.
Can I? No,
I'm
I'm
not
not.
saying you're being
hold
dumb.
on. Can I
I'm
ask?
saying you're trying to add more to the fact of fear in that moment. That's why
you're
it shows
trying
you
to
the
ask me to
standard.
react to something in a bubble without the awareness of everything else that happened before.
All right, I'll answer it. If I'm in front of any car, no matter what's happening, and that car starts moving toward me at a high rate of speed, and I'm in front of it, I would be.
high rate of speed?
I would be.
Now
All
you're-
right.
is
If
it a
that,
high rate of speed?
Oh, let's look at it. I'll show it in real time.
Play it in real
Andy,
time.
Can I ask one question, Andy? I'm being serious. We were talking about, she's dead now. We can't ask her. What do you think the agent's intention was? And I'm asking you genuinely. Do you think he executed her? Like, I will kill her. Boom, boom, boom. You die. Or do you think he was reacting to a scenario? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking how he got there. Anything else.
I don't know. Again, you're asking me for a speculative, complete guess, just so we're clear, because I don't know what the guy's thinking.
In your opinion,
I just feel like, and again, that's why I shared that clip. I'm basing it off my own preconceived notions based on generalizations that I see all over in feeds of ICE agents being power hungry. That's what I'm basing this on. Now, I don't know this guy. I may absolutely be wrong. I want to put that disclaimer. But I see a guy who seems a little bit power hungry, who knows, listen to me, motherfucker. I'm ICE. These protesters are pissing me off because I'm doing my job. He's pissed, just like Kurt's pissed at me. He's been bubbling this all up, this anger, all this frustration. And yeah, he's totally willing to shoot this lady. And that's my problem. We should not have someone that hot in that kind of situation for immigration purposes, because this wasn't even an illegal. This was
I just wanted to ask that because I the same way you didn't want us to paint intentions on her, I just wanted to reverse that a little bit. Because
I think she was freaked out, and I think she made absolute mistakes, and she should have been arrested. I 100% agree with that.
You're this cop. Here's a car, but played in a full speed.
I don't like that clip. I think that clip's misleading.
Agent was hit by the SUV.
We have to.
We're doing it to see how fast the car was going.
Yeah.
Going to, because that was the thing about the speed of the car.
But you keep putting me in this situation. I can't.
I'm just asking. We specifically were talking about the speed of the car, and I said fast moving speed. You said not fast moving speed. That's what I was saying. I was like, all right, let's see.
Oh, sorry. I know we're all over. So I'll shut up. Go ahead. I know you're.
No, I'm just saying it's a reasonable.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. No, it's actually my fault because I didn't clarify. That's what we were looking at this clip for.
We pivoted, and I forgot. I was talking about the high ram of speed.
Yeah, so, you can see it's accelerating. Definitely,
but not at a high speed.
Well. I mean,
somebody 5 feet. Come on. I said she should be arrested. I said it's wrong. Stop telling me I'm not.
That's a lot of speed.
But it's not at a high speed. It is not like.
You know what?
That's what everyone's.
I'll even say that they're not moving at 90 miles an hour. It's a high rate of speed. It's a high rate of speed when you have people around you.
It's moving forward. It's accelerating.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So good. And you're saying, even in this situation, you would not have had any fear. You would have been. No. It would have been cool with it.
And I put myself in front of that car. I know I put myself away from that car. And I would have then had more cause to arrest her. And I would have known that. And I would have known that I didn't really need to resort to pulling my gun. Honestly, and the fact that officers aren't thinking like that terrifies me. And I can't believe it doesn't terrify more people. And that we're just simply arguing mad at me for damn I say maybe we should make sure these officers and these ICE agents, these cops, should maybe have to look at the training again. I'll correct myself. I don't know what training it is. Thank you. I can change myself. Maybe they should reevaluate or retrain some of these parts.
Maybe they are, Andy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, internally, I don't know that they're not doing that. Normally, hold on, Nate can probably confirm this. Mm-hmm. Normally, when there is an incident with an LEO involved, no matter what, there's going to be some sort of remedial training because there's an incident. I think that's pretty much a standard operating procedure in all departments.
And all that stuff. I don't mean argue, but would you not agree that this administration is pretty against that kind of shit because it would go against what they're trying to do?
I don't know what they do internally. I don't think they talk about it publicly. But
any officer involved shooting, there's a whole procedure. Like
I hope so. I mean, there's body cam footage they should be watching. Exactly.
Yeah,
the partner was filming. The officer was filming.
But right
now, also, Andy, keep in mind that the administration. There's a great quote that I was talking to somebody who worked in the Gray Davis administration in California, and he was talking about how all the people were kind of laughing at him. He said, yeah, well, you're dealing with us, but we're weebies. He's like, what are you talking about? And the guy said, we be here when you're gone. Now, when you're talking about procedures and things like that, this is down in the actual chain of command, lower level, and the administrations change up all the time. ICE is just following policies from the top. But these officers are going to be here when Trump is out in 4 years, and they were here when Biden was in.
Oh, he won't be
previously. So,
come on.
However you want to look at it, I'm just trying to say that this is the actual department. The people who are the officers there, they're not politically appointed. They are working Joes. Just like any police officer, the FBI agents. I mean, they're working 20, 30-year careers.
I didn't argue that. I didn't argue that.
For actually just
now,
unfortunately, I have a heart out. I want to give
I do
everybody.
too.
I want to give everybody their piece to say so they can leave. I'll start with Kurt, and the reason why I want to end with Andy because I want to show two things. Andy, I totally appreciate you coming here. I know this was a hot room, and I know it's tough going into rooms. I do it every Friday when I go to fucking Legal Friday. Everybody hates me. You know that happens. Everybody out in this chat hates me, so I definitely know how it is. And I really think, and Andy's a great guy, and 90% of the time, 99% of the time, you probably agree with Andy. But this one, I think it's because when I first saw it, I felt the same way Andy did. But now that I've looked at it, I think differently. So let me start with Kurt. Kurt, what's your final words on this thing?
Well, I'll just simply say that I hope we can all still be friends at the end of this. I know that we had some very passionate disagreements and continue to disagree, although there are many issues in which we align. And for whatever it's worth, I criticize the police frequently on my channel. I'm more than happy to critique the police, as I noted recently. Like one of the videos that really blew up for me recently, as I was critiquing a police officer who I thought was wrong because they pulled over another police officer. I thought they were being an ass. But there are definitely officers out there that are making mistakes, and officers even who act in bad faith, because that's true in every profession. There are people who are bad actors, and perhaps even more so in police forcing, although I wouldn't know for sure, but that probably attracts people who might have the wrong sentiments. But I think there are a lot of people acting in good faith, and to the degree that ICE is breaking the law or not respecting people's rights, then I think they should be held accountable. And the same with Border Patrol, or same with anyone else. I think sometimes they let the power go to their head, and the police act, or the police, or the ICE, or Border Patrol, to the extent there's a difference, say that. So in this particular situation, I think under Tennessee v. Gardner and the other case law that he mentioned, that this is, and if he's ever charged in state court, he would ask for the case to be removed to federal court. He'd ask the state charges to be taken to federal court. It would be, and it would almost certainly be dismissed. So I think that's what I think. And check out my channel on civil law. I think today's video is going to be about Alan Jackson's sudden withdrawal from the case involving Rob Reiner's son.
No money.
So,
no
you gotta watch Andy's.
He's got no money.
Andy's like all over that.
So
no, I want to hear Kurt's side too.
That's what today's video is going to be about, I think. So you can look forward to that. Uncivil out.
All right. So what's going on, Eric?
I don't know. I'll probably be talking about this later on America's Untold Stories.
America's Untold.
Whatever. It will not be as long and heated. It'll probably blow by. But I guess my big take is on this, and I think a lot of things, because we're all content creators and we're all looking for a click. I choose to wait and see on most things. And I think that everybody's coming in with a feeling and a stance going into the situation without really looking at it. And we should always wait. For example, Charlie Kirk's assassination. We kind of need to wait till the damn trial happens to see what evidence there actually is out there. Things like this. There's other body cam footage. I think even Andy brought it up. I'm sure that there will be more details as it goes down the line. And I think we should probably just take things, watch them as they are, and try to not have an opinion of any of it beforehand. Kind of just break it down and let the facts go. I don't know if that makes sense.
I before I hand it over to Andy, I'm going to say this. I was actually where Andy was when I first saw the footage. And then when I got more details, I moved over and I was like, all right, this is a very clean shoot. So I'm coming from that position where I do understand where Andy's coming from. And to be honest with you, I do agree with some of those points, but then at the end of the day, I'm solidly this cop. I don't think he did anything wrong, and I think he's definitely going to be it's going to be known as a good shoot. And with all that, I do want to say that I do think the tone and tenor of what ICE is doing, how they're being I do think that puts everybody up on a little edge. So I respect the fact that if everybody's a little bit fired up, then it's easier to light that bomb and let it explode. And I think that in that context, I think Andy we should bring the temperature down. And I think that's kind of led to this. But then I think that's one set of circumstances. But I think in the microcosm of what happened here with this officer in this event, I think that's separate than the overall theme in terms of this officer is probably going to be legally justified in the shoot. But with that being said, let me turn it over to Andy so he can close us out.
Dude, you all said it fantastically. I hosted movie fights for so many years. I'm used to this. Everyone hating me and everyone being the opposite. I hope none of you took offense personally. I was not at all trying to take personal attacks or even a shot at any of you guys. I am so grateful for this place to be able to come and have the conversation because I think we need them so desperately. Kurt, I totally respect the hell of you. I'm so grateful for the time you've come on Popcorn Planet. I hope you'll come back. I got nothing but love for you, and I appreciate your passion. Eric, right back as you as well. And most importantly, Nate, I got to end with you because I'm just so fucking glad you're here. I just seeing you right here makes me so fucking happy because I haven't seen you streaming since, and we've talked in text, but I love you, brother. You are such a needed voice and force on this platform, and I'm so glad we get so much more with you. You are the damn best because you allow these conversations to happen. And I will say you've all helped me look at it differently legally. Legally, I will concede and say I think you guys made valid points as to why he's probably going to get off. So I'll accept that. She should have been arrested, though. Morally, ethically, I think that we need to do better training. I don't know what he had. I think we could use some better training on these ICE agents. And absolutely, we need to drop the temperature down and have more conversation and understand it because I know we don't have time. These ICE officers like, stop filming me. They're like, it is scary shit, the level of power. And if we don't call that out, if we don't understand that there is a reason to be mad at that kind of stuff, it's only going to get 10 times worse. So thank you for having me, Nate. I love you. I'm so glad you're back and strong and doing this. And shout out to everybody. And thank you so much for having me.
Take care, guys. We're out. In stream.